It's gonna be a good show today. It's not that all black people rock with everything the Democrats do.
They're not even asking the parents if they want these books in these classes. They just do it.
While pedophilia itself does not give rise to criminal liability, acting on it does.
Because people are really stupid. Like, yes, the way you make.
I don't care what you think. Get away from my kids.
Hey, Hillary.
Come on, bro. Stay on topic, man. Stay on topic. So you saying she's guilty, basically is what you're saying.
She said she's guilty.
The most recent Trump indictment.
Why do you want to talk to kids about a sexual preference as an adult anyway?
MAGA, right? Make America great again. What is the time period that reflects great again?
If I think that it's an invisible boot on my neck, how the hell am I gonna get up? What's the reason to getting up? I don't even want to fight. If it's already a losing battle, why fight?
Man, Cashmere, California. Welcome back to PodisGood. If it's your first time, I ain't asking you to do nothing. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Enjoy the show, because it's gonna be a good show today. Matter of fact, let me bring my guy in. I got one of my really good friends that I've been wanting to bring on the show for a second. So hold on. I was just watching this YMW Melly trial situation. I don't know if y'all keeping up with that or not. I don't know. But it's one of those. It's one of those. Melly on trial for his life right now. That's right. They're trying to give him the death penalty. And with the new law, they only have to get 8 to 12 vote for the death penalty to be implemented. How wild is that? 8 to 12? 8 to 12. Matter of fact, I should talk to my guy about this, because my man I'm bringing on, he might be like, yeah, that's enough. Oh my God, this is crazy with it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get it. This is only our second, podcast. So, I'm gonna be a little rusty for a second, but hold on. I'm gonna get us there. We'll be more tapped in the future, more in sync with everything. But I appreciate you being patient. All right, bam. Got that to him. So now he'll be coming in. So if you're just tuning in, PodisGood is this will be a show based in the truth. Okay. Now we all know that there's 3 types of truths. Let me see if I remember them all. There's a personal truth. Okay. And personal truth is like, I think the Giants are the best baseball team ever. And I'm not saying I do, just saying that's a version of a personal truth. Or I believe that Tupac, this is Tupac. I believe that Tupac is the greatest rapper ever. Boom. Personal truth. See, I forgot the other one. There's just that fast I forgot him. Sometimes that happens, man. I start thinking about Pac and his truths. Let me pull it up so I can remember, because I think it's valuable to know information as such, because that's what I'm gonna use this screen for. Actually, I'm gonna use this screen for that, so I can go over here, easily go to 3 types. Sorry if I'm quiet. Types of truths. There you go. So you got your personal truth. I know I get it back. Thank you, Google. You got your political truth. Okay, your political truths are things that how you know, how your okay, I'll get to that one. Your objective truth. I'm gassing. I'm blanking right now. I'm choking. Get that water. That's what they say if I was on stage. You better drink that water. You choking. Anyway, so you got personal truth, political truth, objective truth. All right. Personal truth is obviously something that you just argue. It's something that you feel. There's an objective truth. That's something that you can't get away. The sun is hot. Okay. We could talk about it if you want. We can have a cool debate on it if you want. I don't mind that. But at the end of the day, the sun is hot. The sun is the source of our heat. And then there's your political truth, and we'll get into those. But my guy that I was telling y'all about is this is my guy, man. Like, there's a reason I got him as my first guest on PodisGood. My first guest. So without further ado, because I know we're gonna get into it because we always do. we always do. We always do. So, without further ado, coming to the stage, my guy, my homie, my man, my homie, the SouthCentral conservative. Was good with you?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. I'm happy to see you. Thank you for being here. You know what I'm saying? You over there looking like you're living good. How's life treating you, man?
It's treating me well. It's treating me well, man.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Sure.
That's what's up. All right, so y'all, this is my man, SouthCentral Conservative. Please check out his channel. Please subscribe to my guy. Please take a listen. Whether you have a conservative viewpoint or a liberal viewpoint, I feel that it's beneficial for us all to at least hear each other out. And that's why we here. Me and my guy, we differ in a lot of areas, but at the end of the day, there's love, bro. There's love. It's like, you can have your view, I can have mine. And then there's other things that we on the same page about. It ain't like we just disagree. But I think that's what's needed, you know what I'm saying, nowadays. So without further ado, I like to let my guests, maybe, jump off with the topic if they got something they want to share, they want to get into, because I'm here to learn. If not, I can get us jumped off. You let me know how you want to do it.
Okay. One question I want to ask.
Yeah.
Are Democrats corrupt?
Hold on. You was a little choppy. I heard demo and I heard corrupt. So me knowing you, I'm assuming that you didn't say, did you get the new demo CD that was put out by the rapper Corrupt? I'm going to assume you said, are Democrats corrupt? All right. My response to that is, I think that the majority of politicians are corrupt. So in that respect, yeah, I think that there's very, very corrupt Democrats. I think that there are very corrupt Republicans. I think that we were just talking about the different truths. You got personal truth, political truth, objective truth. I think that the idea of corruption might differ in one person's mind. Somebody might feel like it's corrupt dealing with money. Somebody else might feel like, no, it's corrupt to say you're going to do this and not do that, and really never had that and had that intention in your mind. You were just saying it. Like, that's a corrupt way of thinking. So I trying to get down to what type of corruption is a whole nother conversation. But I do feel like, yes, to answer your question, yes, there are corrupt Democrats as well as other politicians. So where you going with that though? Where you I mean, you start off real hot. You went straight to it. You know what I'm saying? Straight with the gasoline to it. I just need to know where you going with that?
Okay, so where I'm going with basically we know that the Democratic Party has a stronghold vote Democrat. It's just they have our vote. We don't even question them. It's just usually we just it's the right thing to do because we think that they have right.
Okay.
So I led with that question. The current events that happen with Target, that's happening with companies, Dodgers, right? It's companies going through these things with political. It doesn't suit the culture of Black people. It's not our culture. We don't rock with that, but we vote for that because those people that we vote for, they push that. They're not against that. As usually Black people, we're Christian. We come from a religious background, right?
Yeah.
So why do we keep voting for these people culturally? They really don't. There you go. But think they will represent us politically.
All right. Let me do this for this answer. Why do people choose to be in one gang or another? What's the number one reason you think?
Okay, give you a little background. Okay, I was from a gang, right? The thing
Okay.
was that
I didn't know if you was gonna share that or not. I wasn't gonna put you out there. I wasn't gonna put you out there. I didn't know if you was gonna share that or not. So you said it, not me.
Hey, I gotta put it out there because I gotta give context. We Jesus lovers out here. We don't lie, man. We don't lie.
There you go.
We ain't with
Respect.
lies.
Respect.
So, hey, man. So yeah, I understand that a lot of times it's not about what you know, right? We call the LGBT groomers. We also call game bangers groomers because
True.
at a young age it's literally like you got to pick a side.
Yep.
You grew up over here, so hey, if you don't pick a side, it's like you gonna video, not my current video, but my like 3 videos I made ago, right? There was when Joe Biden said he said that if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. He been around for so to where he the people that's older than right, our elders, they don't really pay that because they got so much stuff going on. They got so much stuff going on. They really don't pay attention.
Not just because. Hold on, but not just because they got so much going on, but they done had a life of fighting it. Don't forget that though. Like they fought it crazy and lived it in a worse time. So they also tired. They looking at us like, yo, y'all go fight it. Like y'all go outside. I done been outside. When I was outside, it was dogs. When I was outside, it was hoses. When I was outside, Black men was getting castrated. Like, yo, y'all go fight the fight now. So it just, I'm saying, just in honor of our elders and why they ain't doing it, there's a reason. It's time for us to, take the torch.
Right, but we do understand that our elders are the ones who hold the culture. We look up to them. We trust them. So when they don't do the research and then they basically teach us what they know, these people that is perpetual are basically in our communities and using our communities against us. They've been there for years within our grandparents' time. These people are very old politicians.
True.
They've been lying for years. And it's like we depend on our elders to understand this because we trust them. We not Black people, we don't
all
really
right, hold
get
on,
into politics.
Hold on. My question was, why does someone choose one gang or another? We're talking about come on, bro. We do this all the time. Stay on topic, man. Stay on topic. Why
Okay,
do people
so-
pick
so
one gang
what-
or another? Answer that.
Okay, it's easier. Okay, so it's for the gang part because it's a two-tier situation. For the gang part, you grew up in the hood. This is where you're from. Everybody around you speak the same language. Everybody around you speak the same language.
Okay, we getting
You know
somewhere.
what's up.
Okay.
It's a tribe.
There you go. Okay.
It's tribalistic.
Okay.
Hey, man. Hey, that's the ops. That's the ops over there.
There you go.
Know what I'm
You
saying?
talking.
Don't hang with them.
You talking. Keep going. Keep going. Keep
Them
going.
the op. Don't hang with them. Even though we got the look how they carry themselves.
Facts.
You
Facts.
don't want to be them.
Facts.
Be us.
Oh,
right?
we talking.
So it's
I
already,
need to
it's
take
already
notes. I need
indoctrination.
to take notes. There you go.
There you go.
So hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
So that right there is what I always argue of why Black people continue to stay with Democrats. It's not that all Black people rock with everything the Democrats do. Just like if someone, come on, first off, we know it's a gang. They even use the same colors, bro. It's red and blue. So I'm saying, even though you may not rock with everything that gang does, even though you might feel the fact that they hit up that granny's house on the other block for no reason because they thought somebody was up in there, no matter what, you still like, okay, I ain't into the extreme, but at the same time, I can't just go to the other team on some, I don't love the extreme of this gang. You still got, they talk like me. They walk like me. There's a camaraderie there. There's an indoctrination there. And so even if they fault you, think about how many people, you know, it don't work out with how you thought the gang life was going to work out. But at the end of the day, you like, but the other side ain't never, I can't point to anything the other side did for me. I can't point to the other side and say, yo, they look like me. They want me there. They side looking shaky too. Looking shaky too. So at the end of the day, if you live in that neighborhood or in that country, if you live in that neighborhood and you like, I gotta choose, or you in that prison situation, you like, I gotta choose, you just gotta choose. If somebody on the outside might be like, but why'd you? Yeah, it might look different to somebody else, but I gotta pick something for me. I gotta pick something for me, and that might mean I gotta accept some of what I don't want to accept. That's how I look at it.
Okay. So what I think is that most black people are conservative. They just don't know it. I honestly, truly believe that
that's
black,
a fact. That's a big fact,
right? And the way that the Democratic Party is going, right? Because like I said, I've been a long time Democrat. It was culture, just like how you said gang banging was, right? But it ain't gang banging ain't as intelligent as these political parties, because the political parties attack emotions. They know they look like you. It's
but no, hold on. Don't.
It's strategic. It's like a chess game.
I don't disagree, but don't take away from the intelligence of the elders and gangs, because they also know, man, I ain't trying to go get locked up. I need to get one of these young boys that's under 18 that could go push this work. And if they do get hemmed up, they only gonna do this kind of time. They'll be out by blah, blah, blah. I can go pay some money and get them out. Whereas for me, because I got this many cases already, I can't do. They know. So even though they might be playing a different game that doesn't have as many levels that they have to think on, they are extremely intelligent in knowing, like, I'm getting old. In order for the game to keep going, I need some new blood. In order for me to keep soldiers on the streets, I need to keep young ones that can get out real quick. In order to, like, they know that. That's no different than these political parties that are doing the same thing. Like, man, we getting old. We need to indoctrinate some new ones. We need to get our numbers up. Even Democrat, I feel like Democrats and Republicans doing the same thing right now. Democrats are going, we need bigger numbers. Let's make sure we have, excuse me, the alphabet gang with us. Let's make sure we have the what's the word I'm looking for? The people that are just coming to America. Make sure we let them know that we are the party for them, because they're trying to get their numbers up. The Republicans are doing the same thing. We looking old right now. We need to start getting the young Black Republicans in here. Maybe that'll get us some more of the black vote. We need to get some more. Matter of fact, we'll take the anti BLM. We'll take all of y'all. Anybody, y'all, you don't like Kaepernick? We don't like Kaepernick either. We'll take y'all because they need their numbers up because they losing. They've been losing popular votes for years. So everybody's playing the same game and get my numbers up. They just don't got a salary cap like the NFL where at a certain point you can't get no more. It's like, no, we just need to keep getting as many people in the gang as possible because that's how you run the block when your numbers is up.
Okay. All right. So you're a very intellectual person, right?
I try.
So it's hard for you, me knowing you, it's very hard for you to think that people are really stupid. Like, yes, the way you make this. Game banging is not that, bro.
Niggas is not that smart, my G. They not.
Bro, I'm telling you, OGs is not think, bro. I've met some people that's like, how is he still alive? Like, I'm telling you, G. I'm telling you, man. Look, I ain't the smartest guy ever, but I had to leave. They pushed me out.
Hey, smart enough. You smart enough to make that move.
Hey,
that was the right one.
Hey, when you got 30 dummies, it's like you're the only one that stand out. It's like you look like you the dummy. It's like I gotta go. All right,
biblical. That's biblical.
There you go.
That's a fact.
So for what I'm saying about Democrats, right? They are backed by. They have an agenda. It's not like it's easy as a game because it's basically manipulation. They tell you they're gonna do something for you, they never do it. They know you want it. They know you want reparations. It's a tag. How do I keep you here? You know what I'm saying? They know you want reparations. We gonna get your lick back. We gonna get your lick back that we took a part of. We took a part of it, but we gonna get your lick back. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't never gonna happen.
Reparations is never happening. You telling me it's never happening?
Oh no. It's not lucrative. It's not lucrative. Why would I do that? Why?
No. I will tell you. First off, if they really wanted to do the right thing, they would do reparations. Let me tell you what, it is lucrative. I'll tell you why. The same reason you just said most gang leaders and most gangs ain't that smart. To be honest, most black people aren't financially smart. And so if you give it to them, you'll get it back within a year and a half.
But that's economically. But I need you to need me. How do I need you to need me? If I give you what you're asking for, you don't need me anymore. Then now you with money, people start getting smart. It's like, okay, so where are my taxes going to? But if I don't pay taxes, I don't care. I don't care where it's going to. But if I start paying taxes, it's like, okay, so come on now. Now I'm getting curious.
Yeah.
And curiosity kills the cat. It's like, okay, that's how I became conservative, because it's like, okay, so you taking how much from me? I'm in a union. You take how much from me? Every check. Okay, where is this money going? From this money. Okay.
But okay. Why is that a conservative liberal thing? It ain't like conservatives are saying if we run things, there's no taxes.
Right. But the thing
we're gonna do something different with the taxes. We're gonna build a wall with the taxes. Come on, what's the difference? They're never gonna do it. The same way you just said reparations, it's the same thing. The same way that one side is saying, I need you to need me. I'm gonna give you reparations. And they're like, yay. The other side is going, I need you to need me. You don't like them? I'm gonna build a wall and I'm gonna make them pay for it. Yay. And that never happens. It's the same thing.
Okay, so look, Jay, this is where we disagree at. Because some things have taken. Look, you have to show. You can't just march and not show anything. The Democrats have been getting away with it so much that they could say things and never show up, like with reparations.
But okay, let's stick, because that's a hot button topic that just came up, and we're gonna always deal with truth here on Pod is Good. When I say Pod is Good, you're supposed to say all the time, and then I say all the time, you say Pod is Good. You got it?
Okay.
All right. So Pod is good
all the time.
And all the time,
Pod is good.
And we're going to deal with truth here on Pod is Good. So I'm not saying you wrong. I'm saying let's get to the meat of it. So what are you saying that's not reparations? Not reparation, because that's new. What are you saying? Because we're talking about historically what they've been doing for years and years since our grandparents. Tell me a thing that the Democrats stood on, marched for, or whatever, said we're going to do this for you, and never did it.
Reparations.
I just said we're not using that.
Okay. All right. So outside of reparations.
Outside of reparations. Because we're going to need another few years to look back on that and be like, yeah, y'all never did that. Like, that's still in the talks. So you can still argue that, well, we don't know yet. But if it's been happening since our grandparents, I'm saying, and you just said, we always hear them say blah, 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 and they never do it. I'm saying, okay, let's dig into that. Tell me something that they did that fits that description.
Well, they said that they're going to fix the communities. They're going to fix our communities, fund our communities. They don't. Most Democratic areas is horrible. It's terrible. We're killing each other.
Okay, hold on. No, hold on. Us killing each other ain't got nothing to do with. Hold on, that's a byproduct. That's a byproduct, and that is that whole we kill each other is another topic we will discuss another day, because I think that there's often some facts that are overlooked in the we kill ourselves and why. So but we don't go into that a different day. So You said they said that they were going to fund our communities.
Yeah.
And they never did.
Never do. Never do. Never did.
So they've never given any money. They've never put in any government money into any neighborhoods at all.
They give it in programs, but that's just to keep you.
Do the programs give you money?
They give you free money, but the thing is that it's really not free. They want your vote. The thing is this.
Okay, but hold on, but that's not the point, because both sides do things for votes. The question was, what did they say they were gonna do and they never did? Not what did they want from it, because that's a whole nother conversation. Just they didn't do it. They didn't do it. Like I can point to the Republicans and say, you told me that you were going to replace Obamacare with a more perfect and beautiful thing within like day 2. Didn't happen. Like that's a specific thing that's factual. We can look it up. It's there. I could talk about the wall that had all these easy ways that I can get it done so fast. And you know who's going to pay for it? Mexico's going to pay for it. And didn't happen. When you say something like if I were to say Trump said that he'd let me not use Trump. Let me say Republicans said that they would increase wages, and they never did. It's like, I'm not saying they did. I'm saying I'm using that as an example, because that's so ambiguous. We'd have to dig into like, okay, did wage not go up at all anytime there was a Republican president? Did all the minimum wages stay the same for every state? How much control does the executive office have over that when that state control? Like, I'm seeing what I'm saying. Like, it kind of breaks down as an argument, because it's hard to really put your hands on it. So when you're saying they said they're going to put money in our neighborhoods, that means, and you said they never did it. So that means if I find that there's government money that went to Flint, Michigan to assist with the lead in their water, then that means the whole thing that you said now means nothing, because they did do that once. So what I'm trying to figure out, like, and because I don't disagree with you, because I'm just saying it's one of those things that I feel like both sides do, where they kind of just, yeah, we're gonna do this, especially when it comes to money, and then it's hard to really track it. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to track.
Makes sense. Okay, so all right, so I'm not gonna say that they never funded our communities, but what I meant by that is basically when they don't do what they say they're gonna do, they're not in the benefit of their constituents. Whoever votes for them, they are in the benefit of the lobbyists and those who like BlackRock. and the corporatocracy. They pay them. They're more worried about funding them than the actual Americans, and they do so much corruption that we vote for. They do it with our vote. And I'm not saying that Republicans don't, but what I'm saying is that every Democratic politician, they are like a gang. They don't speak out against each other. They don't never say, okay, this person is wrong, and we're gonna point it out and we're gonna stop this.
But we just went through years of them doing the same thing with your boy. Nobody would say. We swept under the rug every foul thing that you know for a fact. If half of the stuff that they say about Trump, they said about Obama, it'd be a whole different view from a lot of people on the other side. And then when it's Trump, it's a different view from the other side. It's games that people play.
But Trump ain't. But Obama has never been investigated for nothing that anybody said about him.
But so how? Okay. Let's use that.
Yes.
Obama was never investigated. I'm going to say you're right, because honestly, I don't know. But I will say this. In looking at Trump's indictment right now and the level that they're going to with it, they're comparing it to, or the issue, one of the biggest issues to date is the fact that in comparison to another Republican, Mike Pence, and a Democrat, Joe Biden, all three of them were in the same exact situation. The difference is the other two gave back their stuff. So there's no further need for an investigation. There's no deeper dive that they took. Let me not say need, because I don't know that. Let me just say on the surface, it looks like, okay, we demanded it, we got it back. The other one doesn't. So now you go deeper and you go deeper and you go deeper. Is that fair? Is that not fair that they do that?
The thing is that when you don't understand laws, it's easier to say, well, Biden gave back his documents. From laws, people that are not the president, you don't have that. It's not a law. You're never supposed to get them in the first place. You're never supposed to have them. As opposed to Trump, it's a slippery slope because every president has the right to declassify anything they want, anything. But Obama did. Every president outside of Trump has done this. This is nothing new. Nothing new under the sun.
100%.
But when a vice president does it, Joe Biden, even as a senator, he's done it. You're not supposed to do it. I don't care if you give it back. You're not supposed. It's illegal. You're not supposed to do it. Period. But we skip over that and say, well, Trump didn't give it back because he has a right not to, because hey, who's the see, look, this is the thing. Before we understood what a president was, he is the commander of chief. He is the leader of the government. You don't question him. We elected him to be able to do things like that. Obama did the same thing. We didn't question Obama because nigga, you're the president. We gave you that. Go ahead, do your thing. But now now it makes it seem like it's a two-tier system. Like, okay, well, you have to answer to somebody. As a president, you still have to answer to the government. You still have to answer, especially when it comes to documents that you can declassify. You still got to come to me, and who's the people you got to come to? Because in the law,
but you do understand that's written into the executive branch. It's not, the commander in chief just doesn't have just carte blanche to just do whatever. That's not how it goes, bro.
Well, when it comes to documents, you can declassify anything you want.
Yes, but there's still a process to it. He can't sit there at night on the toilet and be like, declassified, classified. He can't do that.
I promise you, that's the way they do it.
I'm telling you because I had to look into this because I didn't even understand, because something that you just said, you said, well, even if you're a senator or you're a vice president, you can't do it at all. It's illegal. That's actually not true. It all depends on what the classified document is, because there's levels of classification. And then there's what's inside the document, and there's what you did with the document. And so that existed long before Trump. That ain't something new that they just put into the system. It's not like Shack Attack where there's a new rule because he's so dominant. This is how it's always been. The issue is like when you hear somebody in court defending themselves, they don't know what an attorney knows. And so an attorney might know, I got to put these motions in prior to this point so that I gotta show the defense my discovery, or show the prosecution, the state, all my discovery prior to this, or else it's gonna be inadmissible. Like, they know all these things. A person that walks in that don't, they thinking this is from my life. I'm just gonna tell my truth, tell my story, and I believe in myself more to fight for me than I do some court-appointed attorney. But they don't know the process, and I think that's what Trump has going for him and has going against him. The fact that he don't know the process like that, it makes him feel like an everyman, even though, if anybody's honest, Trump has never been an everyman. He's been a billionaire. We looked at Trump, hip hop looked at Trump like he the GOAT when it comes to money. Nobody looked at him like he's Joe Rogan, like he's one of us. He's just now trying to come off as one of us so that I get your vote. That's another story. However, so him having that persona of I'm an everyman, vote for me, goes well for me. It has him a great following. The problem is, but because you don't know, you really don't know. It's not like you just trying to come off like that. Like, you really don't know. You've really not been here like a Bernie Sanders. You really, really, really don't know. Sometimes that's gonna hurt you. And so now when you're telling people, and I'm pretty sure you read the indictment already, now when you're telling people, oh yeah, those are my boxes, don't take those. Can't we just not play ball with them and not give them the stuff back? Can't you just do what Hillary Clinton's lawyer did or people did and just get rid of them? When you're saying things like that, all that says is, oh shoot, I didn't really know. And so now I got to play all the cards. I got to play the I'm trying to destroy him card. I got to play the I should be able to do this anyway. Other people did it. Matter of fact, I should get paid for it because that president had him and they actually went back and gave him money for him. But then I also got to play the, can we just not give it to him and just hide him? I got to play all the cards and just hope that it's almost like I'm in court trying to get reasonable doubt. I'm just going to throw everything out there and hope the jury's like, well, I don't know anymore. Where if you were innocent, bro, you'd have one story. If you honestly felt like, I can do this, there's nothing wrong with it, everybody else does it, I was the president, I did this while I was the president, and it's fully within the right for me to continue to do it, why is there any other story? That would be your only story. That's it. Don't hide nothing. I can do this. Don't get rid of nothing. I'm not Hillary. I was the president. She wasn't. She's wrong. I'm not. Don't do what she did. You stand on it.
I get what you're saying, but you got to also take in that this situation has happened and it came out victorious on the other people's side. So it's very, that's just bringing up several situations to prove my point. Like, if I'm saying this system is corrupt, hey, what about this? Oh, you should pay me for it like this person. I'm just saying all this because it has occurred when these people was not presidents. They had no jurisdiction to do anything that they did. Smashing the servers, smashing phones to get rid of evidence. This has happened and she's not in jail for it. So it's proven that if I'm the president, they elected me to be able to eat. It's a slippery slope. We can talk about certain type of documents, this and that. At the end of the day, Hillary Clinton had no business doing that. She's still around talking. She has a podcast. She can talk. She's able to talk still, right?
Has she ever said she did that?
Yeah, she apologized for it. But that was an ongoing case.
What?
For having a private server it was in her basement, a private server in her basement, bro.
Okay. So, I mean, right now, to be honest, that could be just the same as, classified documents in the bathroom. So, okay. So she said that. Now, but you're saying she admitted that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did she apologize for smashing a server and smashing a phone?
It was in the evidence during the trials. Every person that was working under her smashed their smart device. Every single one of them. No, even the FBI said, yeah, she's wrong, but I don't think anybody's gonna prosecute her. I don't think it's right for anybody to prosecute her.
See, I'm okay. So I'm gonna accept that for now because I did not see the trial for that. I didn't even know there was a trial. So I must have been in my hip hop bag at the time, watching battles or fights, and just wasn't really in that, right, in that moment. So I will accept that contingent of further research from you. So one thing that I know people don't like to bring up, and this happens even with regular crimes, is that the justice system is a very organic, living, breathing thing that evolves. And just like in your neighborhood, you can have an intersection where there's no traffic signal. People can complain about it for years. If a kid is riding his bike through that intersection and gets hit by a car, the city responds. And now the county puts effort into it. And now you got a traffic signal, because sometimes it takes things to hit such a high mark for people to make adjustments. So is there a possibility? Because one thing I kept hearing about the Hillary thing was that when the justice, I don't know if it was special counsel, I don't know if it was FBI, but when they started talking about it, they kept saying they looked into it, but it wasn't enough, which I kept hearing about Trump too. Yeah, we looked into that, but it doesn't it's not enough to take it to trial. That happens with everybody. There's plenty of mobsters, there's plenty of mafia gang members, low-level drug dealers, or just incidents like domestic violence. There's plenty of situations where people are like, yeah, that person did this, but looking at what we have to actually bring to court, it's not going to sit, because they understand that having facts or truths don't always translate in a court of law. A court of law is about specific evidence, whether it be verbal, whether it be video, whether it be from witness, like that. That's just part of our court system, and it's one of the best in the world, even though it has its flaws. But it's one of the best. Can we agree with that? At least one of the best compared to the rest of the world.
It has turned to the rest of the world.
Well, that's not realistic, because the rest of the world even doesn't even have the same system. Even there's levels there. So one thing can't be like 100 other things that are on different levels.
What I mean was that America used to be the idol of justice, of justice, right? Now you have where we're debating about a person committing a crime. Like, yeah, they may have committed a crime, but now it's a stoplight. Before, crime was crime, and between me and you as citizens, it's certain things we cannot do, regardless of what we say. Like, okay, maybe, hopefully, it'll change one day. No, you don't have that right.
But that's not true. That's not true. I'll give you a great example. I won't even go back to what I was saying. I'm gonna give you a good example. You got 10. Let me see. You got 10 kilos of cocaine at your crib. I got 10 kilos of cocaine at my crib. We both get raided. We both get taken down. We both get interrogated. I don't know nothing else but the person that gave me the work, and I ain't trying to give that person up, because this is feed my family, so I'm gonna take the hit. But you've been in it so long, 5-6 tiers up, and you're willing to give that information, and they're willing to let this go. Those same 10 kilos, though illegal for both of us as regular citizens, get treated very differently in the justice system, because they want to get to the person that got 1,000 kilos that you got your little 10 from. And so you might be let go with the right information. I might be put down for a whole year with no information. So we can't say that it's always the same. The justice, it don't work like that. And we know that. It's just that when we start defending certain things, then all of a sudden it becomes like, oh, if this person gets it this way, then this person, it's never like that.
But I understand what you're saying, but Hillary Clinton she didn't give up nobody. She literally just committed the crime, and that just happened. Like the thing is that it happened so so long ago. We still bringing this up. Like, okay, where's justice? Where's justice? You hear one part of a political spectrum saying, "Hey, Hillary." Everybody else saying, "I didn't watch the trials." We literally telling you, "Hey, bro, something happened." We all Americans here. At the end of the day, we might not agree with each other, but hey, something has happened here.
So you saying she's guilty, basically, is what you're saying.
She said she's guilty.
No. You saying she's guilty, right?
Yes, we all know. We all know this.
And that happened how long ago?
Possibly maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Okay. So you saying you're saying right in the beginning of so like 2016, right before Trump's administration goes in.
Yeah, I think so, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, let's just say
I think that
somewhere pre-Trump, within a certain amount of years that happened. All right, and we have what you're saying. And again, I'm just going with you. We have evidence from her directly saying that she did it, that she did pretty much everything that the people are accusing her of saying that she's done. I'm going with that. So anybody listening, if you like, that's not true, that is true, cool. I don't have a defense, so I'm not gonna defend it. My man said it happened.
I don't want to tell you what to think. I'm gonna tell you what to think. Go look it up.
You're not. I'm not saying I think it. I'm just saying I'm gonna go with it. I'm just saying I'm going with it for the sake of the conversation, because I don't know. It's like if I told you who won the Super Bowl last year and you ain't watch it. It's like, well, you could either sit here and go look it up, or you could just go with it, because why would I tell you the wrong thing? So I'm gonna just go with it for now. That's your information has led you to that understanding. Cool. So let's talk about, just because it's a topic of right now, let's talk about the most recent Trump indictment.
Okay.
Let's start with what we can agree with. Let's see if we can have some key points that you and I can agree on. All right. So can we agree? First off, this is about confidential documents, right? This is about documents that had not been declassified, that could have been, but never got declassified. Do you agree with that?
It's hard to agree. No, I don't.
I mean, your guy said it, but if you don't agree, you don't. I'm just saying, looking at the indictment, he even agrees that, yeah, they're confidential, but he's just saying, but I can do that. He said, I could have declassified them. I just didn't, but I could have. So that says that they're not declassified.
I think what he means by that is saying, I mean, you could take it two ways. I think that what he's saying by that, once a president takes a classified document in law, once the president takes a classified document and declares it declassified, it's declassified. It's as a president, you have that power. You can't have the power to press a button for nuclear war, and when it comes to classified documents, like, hey, come here. What are you doing with that? Hey, it's a little bit like picking sides. Okay. A little bit like picking sides.
Okay. Okay. Because we have two understandings of what the process looks like. Okay. We are going to try to bring up something and hopefully we can agree. Maybe we can find the right. I don't know where you go to for your news, because I know, especially on the right, y'all are the conservatives. Y'all like, I trust this one person this one group and that one YouTube or that one Rumble channel, and that's it. They're the only people that get it right. So I don't I don't know where you get your news. Where do you get your news from that you trust?
To me, I don't trust any news. I just trust the laws. And a lot of times when we have debates about things that occurred in society as far as political situations and corruption, a lot of times they have trials. So what I do is watch the trial with no commentary. I just watch what they say, okay? And then a lot of times these lawyers and these prosecutors are bought off by BlackRock, those who are billionaires, like George Soros. A lot of times they are appointed by these people. So why would I listen to anything this person has to say when this person is very corrupt? And I already know this. So I'm not going to listen to a person that lied to me so many years. All of a sudden they want to tell me the truth. I'm not listening to that. I don't want to hear that.
I get that.
And
I mean, I do believe that somebody could cheat for a lot of years and then find the one and be honest. But I get your point. I do get your point.
Not when it comes to politics. They all for interest. They don't care about the American people. They don't.
All right. So this is in the National Archives. I mean, is that good for you?
Yeah, sure. We can take that.
Okay. Now let me see. Let me see if I can pull this up because I want to make sure I do this right. Again, you my first guest, bro. So, I'm trying to get it right. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I get it right for you. All right, basic. There we go. All right, so can you see my screen right now?
See it a little bit.
You see it a little bit?
Yeah, you gotta
let me see if I can
zoom in a little bit.
Let's see. First, let's go to full screen. It doesn't go full screen there. Okay. Let me get it. Hold on. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. Drink that water. It's not letting. There we go. Okay, let me. Oops. Better?
Yeah. Perfect.
A little better? Okay. All right. So okay, let me go to the top so you know exactly what I'm reading. So this is basic. This is from the National Archives, right? It's archives.gov. So this is official. Basic laws and authorities, okay? Just kind of read the beginning and we'll jump down to the part that talks about declassification of documents. So Executive Order 12958 was amended on March 25th, 2003. Executive Order 13292 to read as follows. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, and in order to further amend Executive Order 12958 as amended, it is hereby ordered that Executive Order 12958 is amended to read as follows. This order prescribes a uniform system for classifying, safeguarding, and declassifying national security information, including information relating to defense against transnational terrorism. Our democratic principles require that the American people be informed of the activities of their government. Also, our nation's progress depends on the free flow of information. Nevertheless, throughout our history, the national defense has required that certain information be maintained in confidence in order to protect our citizens, our democratic institutions, our homeland security, and our interactions with foreign nations. Protecting information critical to our nation's security remains a priority. Now, therefore, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. All right. So at least that's the setup. I'm not, I know people don't like when you skip stuff, but this is a lot. Okay. There's a lot to go through. The original classification, and then that has all these sections, and then we get to the derivative classification. Just a lot. Okay. So we're just going to skip down to part 3. Anybody, if you want to look this up yourselves, this is archives.gov/about/laws/4/appendix/12958.html. You can read it all for yourself. All right. Part 3, section 3.1. Authority for declassification. A. Information shall be declassified as soon as it no longer meets the standards for classification under this order. So basically, as long as it's not an issue, right? We can agree with that. Mm-hmm. As long as it's not an issue, as long as we don't feel like there's any national security or privacy issue, it can be declassified. That's one. That's part A. B, it is presumed that information that continues to meet the classification requirements under this order requires continued protection in some exceptional cases. However, the need to protect such information might be outweighed by the public interest in disclosure of the information, and in these cases, the information should be declassified. When such questions arise, they shall be referred to the agency head or senior agency official. That official will determine, as an exercise of discretion, whether the public interest in disclosure outweighs the damage to the national security that might reasonably be expected from disclosure. This provision does not, 1, amplify or modify the substantive criteria or procedures for classification, or 2, create any substantive or procedural rights subject to judicial review. So what I got from that was basically something can be classified because there is a security reason for it to stay classified. However, if the people need to know, let's say COVID-19, let's say the fact that certain people in this area have gotten COVID-19, and as a government, we know that this came from Wuhan, China, or at least we suspect it. And we're like, well, we don't want to cause a panic, so we're keeping it classified, and we're trying to deal with it on a local level. And hopefully we can contain it and not have mass hysteria. But you start to realize what's going on in China, and then you get information in Europe, and you get information from Australia, and now this thing is starting to grow because they did keep it classified. That then, again, there's a process that would then be referred to the agency head or senior agency official, and then they will look at that and go, okay, should we keep it classified, or should we let the people know that there chooses a disclassification reason? Do you agree with that as a synopsis of part B?
I could agree with that, but does the president supersedes the official? That's what I want
to know. Since we're reading it, if it says it in here, then it does. If it don't say it in here, we got to go by what's in the archives. Okay. Because usually when they write these things out, as you can hear, they are very specific on the verbiage and the language used, and to make sure that it encompasses all what ifs as much as possible. So I would assume that it would say that executive privilege could override blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying that they don't have to talk to the president about it. I'm not saying he's outside of the decision, but it specifically says that it goes to the agency head or the senior agency official. I don't even know. That person could have been appointed by the president. I don't know how they get that role. I don't know if they're voted in or if they're appointed. So, but we cleared not the what ifs, but so far, at least what's on paper, we agree with that. All right. C. if the director of the Information Security Oversight Office determines that the information is classified, determines that that information is classified in violation of this order, the director may require the information to be declassified by the agency that originated the classification. Any such decision by the director may be appealed to the president. Here we go. Through the assistant to the president for national security affairs. The information shall remain classified pending a prompt decision on the appeal. Okay, so that says that the director of the oversight committee can basically look at it and go, no, there's a violation here, whatever his reasons are. And then that person has to say, I'm going to talk to the chief. Hey, yo, chief, they tripping over there at the agency because we oversee them, and they in violation on this one. Can you take a look? And then he can look at it and say, yeah, I agree with this appeal. So again, that's still a process so far. We can agree with that. This isn't the president so far jumping in and saying, hey, that whole box right there, yeah, I already declassified that, y'all. It's good. That's going with me. Right? At least so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right. D, the provisions of this section shall also apply to agencies that, under the terms of this order, do not have original classification authority, but had such authority under predecessor orders. So basically, it can be grandfathered in. So like you might have not have been in the agency that was supposed to do this, but maybe during that time, maybe this agency wasn't around yet. And during, maybe, I don't know how they did it back then, whether it was executive or Supreme Court or whoever, they said, you guys can choose the classification for these particular things. So that can get grandfathered in, because it's not like we just wipe away your reason for classification just because we have a new agency or a new oversight committee. We respect what was going on before. All right. So that was 3.1. I'm pretty sure everybody don't want us to go through all of this, but I'm gonna go with you. You my guest, man. You my guest, respected guest. We got section 3.2, which is transferred records. Okay, it has its part. We have 3.3, which is automatic declassification. We have section 3.4, which is systematic declassification review. We got 3.5, which is mandatory declassification review. We got 3.6, which is processing requests and reviews. It's to a request for information under the Freedom of Information Act, the Privacy Act of 1974, or the mandatory review provisions of this order, or pursuant to the automatic declassification or systematic review provisions of this order. We got 3.7, the declassification database. Now, I didn't really see anything in there that sounded like it was going to go over the executive privilege of declassification, but is there anything in there that you heard that jumped out as, oh, they may talk about it in that section? I see executive office right here.
It seems like all of them that you named kind of like we'll probably get into it, so I don't know.
All right, so since I'm not trying to be away. I've never looked at this. You've never looked at this, so I'm not trying to do what some people do and jump around and find the information that befits their argument.
Right.
We just trying to find the truth. So because if you agree with me, because the only place that I see 180 days, hold on. The president may direct the agency head not to exempt the file series or to declassify the information within the series to an earlier date than recommended. File series exemptions previously approved by the president shall remain valid until additional Agency head shall notify the president. This is all taking things to the president. I'm trying to get it to where the president on his own without somebody bringing it to him. Okay, so let me just read this because I did see something in here. So I'll start at here at 3.5. Mandatory declassification review. Only because down when you get to B, you see it says or information originated by incumbent president, White House staff, blah blah blah. So I don't know. You know, we might get into it there.
Okay.
All right, where we at? We at an hour. How you doing? Good. How you doing on time? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Heck yeah, we can do this all day, man. Let's go.
All right, I love it. I love it. It's my guy. That's why I got you on, man. We're gonna end this with something good. We're gonna end it like talking about music or something, and let everybody hear that joint that you sung the hook on.
That
All
wasn't me.
section.
That wasn't me, bro.
Section 3.5, mandatory declassification review. A. Part A, or Section A, whatever, however you want to say it, subsection A. Except as provided in paragraph B, I guess that's next, of this section, yes, all information classified under this order or predecessor orders shall be subject to a review for declassification by the originating agency. Okay, so it's basically saying that except for what they're going to talk about in B, everything that's in this order can be reviewed by whoever put it in classification in the classified space. So they have to review it basically. So the new person can't come in and go, oh yeah, that needs to be declassified without talking to the first people that said it needs to be classified. They got to be on the same page, right? Part one of that, the request for a review describes the document or material containing the information with sufficient specificity to enable the agency to locate it with a reasonable amount of effort. Okay, that's cool. That just means, SouthCentral, I am put your name out there. SouthCentral conservative said or came to my house and stole my tomatoes, and I filed a police report for it. Well, if I'm gonna put this request for this to be reviewed, I gotta state your name, probably put in my address, subject matter of stolen tomatoes, maybe the date. I gotta have the right information so that the agency that has to go and do this review can find it, right? All right, we're on the same page still?
Yep.
All right. Part two, the information is not exempted from search and review. The information is not exempted from search and review under sections 105C, 105D, or 701 of the National Security Act of 1947, 50 USC 403-5C, 403-5E, and 431. Okay, so this is basically saying this is still a part of the original situation that said that whoever the originating agency was that classified it has to be a part of it. You can't exempt this information under these sections. So I'm assuming there might be some wording in these sections that might lead someone to believe I ain't got to talk to that originating agency because this is a national security thing. This is part of the National Security Act of 1947. So what? That doesn't exempt it from having a mandatory declassification review. Part three, the information has not been reviewed for declassification within the past 2 years. If the agency has reviewed the information within the past 2 years, or the information is subject of pending litigation, the agency shall inform the requester of this fact and of the requester's appeal rights. I guess that's kind of self-explanatory, right? Without going into it. Okay, subsection B. information originated. I feel like it's not going to get to where we thought it was going to get to, but we're going to go through it. I don't want to step away. Part B, information originated by. So this goes back to part 1. Just keep everybody on track. It says this is a part of mandatory declassification review, and it says except as provided in paragraph B, which is what we're about to read. All information classified under this order or predecessor order shall be subject to review for declassification by the originating agency. So, except in these situations, information originated. Oh, actually, yeah, it does get into it. From what I just said, I heard it. Information originated by, number 1, the incumbent president, or in the performance of executive duties, the incumbent vice president. Okay, hold on. From what I see, that sounds like the incumbent president, or when performing in performance of executive duties, the incumbent vice president. So it depends on what the vice president is actually doing. If he's authorized to be handling certain executive duties, he's clear. Okay, we agree so far?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Part 2, the incumbent president's White House staff, or in the performance of executive duties, the incumbent vice president's staff. Okay. Now, depending on the time frame in which the documents were taken, this is not on the archives page. This is me speaking. Depending on the dates, it sounds like from those two things, we at least can clear up that Vice President Joe Biden, when he was vice president, and Vice President Mike Pence, when he was vice president, they had the right, they did not have to undergo mandatory declassification review. Okay, this has nothing to do with taking stuff home yet. All we're looking at right now is declassification, right? That's it. So we can agree that Trump, Pence, Biden, not Hillary. I don't know if Hillary had a declassification issue, but for those 3 that we're actually talking about classified documents, this states that basically they did not have to undergo mandatory review to declassify documents, right?
Right.
All right. Part 3, committees, commissions, or boards appointed by the incumbent president. Okay, that could lead. I don't know where Biden was, or what committee or commission he or board he might have been a part of when he was not vice president. When they're saying that, I think they said that he might have taken certain classified documents when he was a senator.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the problem.
So then hold on. So the question is, as far as the classification part, not the taking it, we ain't getting into that. As far as the declassification, it sounds like here, if I don't even know if this is possible, you guys can let us know, unless you know, if that senator was a part of a committee, commission, or a board appointed by the incumbent president, he's clear to declassify without the mandatory declassification review, right? Doesn't say, I guess it's not saying that they can declassify whatever they want. They're just saying it doesn't have to undergo the review, right? So the only thing that would kill Biden's argument is if, I guess until we read the rest of these parts, would be is if a senator can't even be involved in one of these committees or commissions because it's a conflict, then that completely pushes him out. Then that makes it okay. As far as declassifying it, if that's what he did, then that's a problem. Again, if all he did was take it home, we haven't found out if that's a problem or not. Part 4, other entities within the executive office of the president that solely advise and assist the incumbent president is exempted from the provisions of paragraph A of this section, which talked about the mandatory steps that need to be taken. However, the archivist shall have the authority to review, downgrade, or declassify papers or records of former presidents under the control of the archivist pursuant to sections 2107, 2111, 2111 note, or 2203 of Title 44, United States Code. Review procedures developed by the archivist shall provide for consultation with agencies having primary subject matter interest and shall be consistent with the provisions of applicable laws or lawful agreements that pertain to the respective presidential papers or records. Agencies with primary subject matter interest shall be notified promptly of the archivist's decision, and final decision by the archivist may be appealed by the requester or an agency to the panel. The information shall remain classified pending a prompt decision. Okay, I don't know if you're hearing this, but I'll be honest. A lot of this don't sound like it has anything to do with the president. I'm keeping it. Hold on. I'm gonna go back here real quick. I'm keeping it gangster. I feel like there we go. I feel like a lot of this is talking about there are agencies and basically groups that have been created to monitor and officiate, in so many words, classified documentation and how those things are dealt with, how they get classified. Even though we're only reading the declassified section, I feel like I can deduce from this that if it's this detailed in declassifying a document, that is probably that detailed in classifying a document. So tell me, do you at least agree or surmise from looking at this, what we've read thus far, that classification or declassification of U.S. national security documents is not a simple process?
It's not a simple process for everyone else other than the president. Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna just stand on that. So
look, you read a whole bunch of stuff. You gotta put it in the president.
You're gonna stay right there. You're gonna stay right there.
Because you read you can't skip what you read. You can't skip.
I'm not.
The president has authority. He skips all of this, like you were reading, all the declassification processes. The president skips all that. I don't gotta go through that. I ain't gotta go through
No. Let's keep it. Let's keep it exactly what it said. No, let's keep it what it said. It did not say he skips the whole process. It says that he skips the mandatory review. That's different. It's saying that there's a mandatory, we saw it earlier, there's an automatic, but there's also a mandatory declassification review. That review is by the head of that body or the agency official. I forgot how they worded it. Let me make sure I word it right, especially for people that are tuning in just audio and aren't watching the video, which you should watch the video. It says I want to make sure I just want to make sure I get the title right. And this is earlier. That's right. Here. Sorry, y'all, for the silence. I was really trying to. Okay, I can't find it. If I remember where it was, I guess we did read a lot, and I lost it. But basically, the head of that particular agency has to be the one that decides that. He's the one that decides, he or she decides to take this to the president, yada, yada, yada. But that's just the review. That's just the declassification mandatory review that is written into the laws, that if you're going to declassify something, there's a mandatory review process, unless it's the incumbent president, incumbent vice president, when they're performing executive duties, incumbent executive White House staff, the White House staff if they're performing executive duties, those other uh, agencies, commissions, or what was the other one? One other one that if you're in those, you can skip the process. It doesn't say, you can skip the review portion. It doesn't say you can automatically declassify it. So we'll have to find, we still need to find, basically, I'm gonna just put that in. How about that? Let's get into that. Right. I'm gonna just put in, can the president declassify a document? No, not can, because we both know that. We agree on that. I don't disagree that a president can declassify documents. So there's no need us to. We want to understand how, right? Mm-hmm. Or what is the process, right? Yes. What is the process for a president to declassify documents? Let's see if we can find something. I don't know if you can see that. Zoom in. Are getting big? Oh yeah, it's getting bigger for you. Yep. All right, is that better? Can you see? Can you read that?
I see perfectly.
Okay. All right. So we just read this: presidential authority, the Constitution, executive orders. Okay, I don't know if this just talks about authority. We can come back to that if you want. I just want the process, not authority. I don't disagree with that. The president can classify and declassify documents. We agree on that. That's common ground, right? Mm-hmm. We just need to find, I just want to, how U.S. presidents can declassify documents. Okay. This is on Verify This. I've never heard of them. If you trust it, I'll go with it. If you don't, we'll keep looking. There's just secure. We can, you tell me. I want to look at what you feel comfortable looking at. I see, yes, president. I don't know if this is just a vlog or a blog. I don't know. We open whatever you want me to open. Dispelling myths, how classification and declassification. Doesn't tell me.
The thing with this is that I love that you researching this, and you're gonna see how corrupt the system is. I'm laughing because like you're gonna find the truth eventually, because it's hard not to. It's hard not to, bro.
How about this one? How the president can declassify documents. Just tell me which one. How the declassification process works. Declassifying frequently asked questions. Looks like the Department of Justice. I'm assuming they respond to these answers. The Senate, legal resources. The declassification data event. Blah, blah, blah. Carry forward any newly created documents, any assigned authorized markings. Come on, man. Tell me something. Which one? we got to pick something.
I mean, all of them gonna say the same thing. So I don't see. The thing is, up to you to believe them. I don't know what's enough information for you. I would just look like how you Googled it. Anybody can do it, and they're gonna find the same thing as you. So it depends on what you want to believe, right? At this point, because you literally Google what everybody should Google at this point. So pick one. I don't know.
All right.
And you pick what you want to believe.
I like this because this is from the Department of Justice. Okay. I believe that. Okay. I believe the Department of Justice. I believe this, and not only because I believe it, but because both bodies talk heavily about certain areas of government that they trust. They both do that until it's against them. Okay. Because both sides do it. The Democrats love the voting process until there's a miscount in Florida. with George Bush, and now they want to recount. The Republicans love the voting system, want to keep it the way it is until their candidate loses. Now everything's corrupt. Both sides have done it throughout history. I'm not even talking about in the past 4 terms. I'm talking about go back to like the first 10 presidents, you'll see the same exact thing. This is America. They've been on that. Okay. It ain't got nothing to do with recent voting machines and all that's just more fluff. It's the same thing. Both sides hate it. It's like watching a basketball game. One person gets called for a foul on the Lakers. They looking like, what? I ain't do nothing. Then another person gets called for a foul on the Warriors. They like, what? I ain't do nothing. They could have did the same exact thing. Both of them look like, no, he did it. I didn't do nothing. That's just, that's just what it is.
The argument is that it's totally legal to question elections. It's legal. But
agreed.
Now they're trying to make it illegal to question elections. They censored a lot of people who question elections, and then you know the history of Democrats questioning elections. Back, why didn't any of them get censored? Why now get censored? It used to be a thing, like you said. It used to be a thing. You could question elections.
But you're forgetting the evolution of the internet. And a lot of people do that. And a lot of people also don't even realize that in the last 7 years, politics, actually, I'll go further. I'll say in the last 11. Those 7, it changed even more. But in the last 11 years, starting with, actually, Obama did 2 terms. So in the in the last 15 years, the internet, the politics have grown larger and larger on the internet. It wasn't in the internet before. But Obama made it cool to talk about transparency on social media or to the people about the government. That didn't exist with the Clintons or with the Bushes or with Jimmy Carter. That didn't exist back in the day. So
Obama allowed propaganda to spill in America. He allowed the government to lie to us.
That is a narrative that we could agree on, but we could also point to that. I don't believe that is a byproduct of Obama. I believe that is a byproduct of the nation and the growth of the internet. People don't realize how powerful the internet is. There's a reason that Trump has Truth Social. There's a reason that people that now presidents, they used to have ideas that they ran on. Now they have 2 to 3 word slogans that they run on. There's a reason. That has nothing to do with the executive style of things. That has everything to do with the people. And so
was censored into Truth Social. It wasn't like he chose. Let me just
no. I don't agree with heavy censorship, and I agree with it. I'm in a weird space with that. I'm in a very weird space with that because, and I think you are too, because I think that you would agree. You don't want Trump censored onto to the point where now he's on Truth Social, right? You want him to have freedom of speech, right? Right. But you also don't want the alphabet gang to be able to talk to children about the gay BCs, correct or not?
But that's illegal.
But is it censorship?
No, it's illegal. You're not supposed to talk to kids about sex, period.
Is it censorship is my question.
Hey, Jay, before censorship, that was a law. That was a law. You cannot talk to kids about sex. Period.
The reason I'm skipping over your point right now is because I know we're gonna have that conversation in the future, and we're not talking about them talking about sex. You're saying that, and I agree with you. We're on the same page with that. But my point has nothing to do with them talking about sex. What I said was them talking about the gay BCs. The gay BCs is not about sex. It's sex to us as adults because we think anything that someone tells me about gay, I'm like, why are we talking about a sexual matter? I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. But when you're talking about the actual content, when you're talking about a man dressing as a woman and wanting to have fairy dust at a school, that's not talking about sex. That's talking about a lifestyle that leads to the understanding of sex. We got to be able to partition things correctly because that's what they do wrong with us.
But
So
you don't have a covered up stripper at a school either. Like you don't talk about sexual preference. We talk about ABC. What are we talking about? That's the thing though. It's not a slippery slope. It's not as technical as we trying to make it. It's literally illegal. The thing that they're doing right now, it's legal. They're pushing boundaries, but it used to be illegal. That's illegal. That's not supposed to happen. Period. Through generations. That's never. If you did that back in the 70s, do you know what happened to you?
what?
Yo would have been locked up in jail for even going to kids' school and talking about this. Period. Your sexual lifestyle, you don't even supposed to talk about that. Period. About even if you straight, you don't make books about straight BCs. It's just AB. What are we talking about? It's illegal.
Okay, so you're saying that it was illegal to talk to kids about sex?
Period. Yes.
Okay, and up until what age?
Teenagers.
What age?
Like 16. Like you have not sexual studies, but about condoms and if you're gonna have sex, protect yourself. Especially during the AIDS epidemic, they had to talk to you about that. But not at no elementary school. That is illegal.
Okay, but
it's not censorship.
Hold on. But if we're talking about what we feel is right, let's get back to our personal truths, political truths, objective truths, right? Yeah. If we're talking about what you and I think is right, I think those are personal truths that we deem 100% that we feel are right. And as two young Black men, I know we agree on that, right? From our stance. But if you say something is illegal, you are moving into an objective truth, almost close to a political truth. So you have to be able to say it was illegal. It is illegal for a person to consume alcohol until the age of 21. That is an objective thing. That is, we can look at it, we can see it. If they card you and you turn 21 today, you're clear. If you turn 21 tomorrow, they can take you to jail. That's straightforward, right?
Right.
So, but when you're saying at an elementary school, when you're a teenager, that's too floaty. You got to give me something specific. We're going to deal with truth here. This is the Truth Social. We're going to deal with truth here. Tell me what the legal parameter was about talking to children of what age about sex? Because that's your statement. It was illegal in the 70s. You couldn't do it. You would go to jail. That's what you said. So what is that law?
It's literally pedophilia. If you're talking to kids about any sexual preference in history and a child that can't even, that's morally, but mind you, laws are based off morals because it's wrong to drink in public. It's not that I'm going to cause any harm in public. It's just morally it's not right, especially because kids passing by and all this other stuff. So laws are literally based off morals. Morally, you're not supposed to talk to kids about sex, period, at elementary school, period. And especially at a level they don't even understand this crap.
Okay.
And this and the public is basically the enforcers of the law, because that's the reason you have juries, because the public opinion matters. Literally in history, you would never allow an adult to talk to a kid in a sexual way about any sex. Period.
But correction on what you said. Public opinion matters, and that is why we take things to a law in front of a jury. However, every jury case, the judge will instruct the jury, you do not consider what you believe the law should be. You do not consider what you believe the law to be wrong as of this date. You are only to consider the law as it is. Things do not get changed in the law until afterwards when they see cases start to happen. They go, okay, we make new moves. So what I'm saying is, yes, public opinion matters, but public opinion does not dictate the law in that moment. It is purely a point of reference for lawmakers to then put things to be voted on so that the people can enact on those laws and get them into the books. We agree on that.
Okay, yeah, we can agree on that.
Okay, so
let's change the question. When was it legal for an adult to talk to a kid about sex?
well, I think that's kind of where the weight is, because I can tell you, you said, when was it legal for an adult to talk to a kid about sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can say that when I was in junior high school in 7th grade, which I'm not a teenager yet. I think in 7th grade, I'm closer to like 12. Let me see, 16. And you're around 14, 15 going into high school. So yeah, so around 13, 12, I'm somewhere in there. We had sex education then. That's an adult talking to kids about sex, about reproductive issues, about sex between a male and a female. So I can say it was legal. Now, I don't think that's what you're talking about, but that's what I'm saying. Details and context matter, because just to say you can never be an adult and talk to a kid about sex ever, that's illegal. That's not true. It depends on the content. Now, can you walk up to some little kid? Let's be specific. Can you, as a 25, I won't even go old, a 25-year-old legal adult, walk up to a 17-year-old legal adolescence, legal child, non-adult, and try to position them in a, hey, you want to, that's statutory rape. That is illegal. So we can point to an official thing that says you can't do that. You can't talk. That is a child.
Okay, so I got you. All right. So what makes it illegal? Consent. Parents. Consent. I don't agree to you talking to my child about sex, because I am the adult. I get to tell you what I don't agree with.
That doesn't make it illegal.
Consent is a as an adult, I am the authority over this child. If
that's wrong.
What?
Legally, that's wrong. Okay, perfect example. I can't say, I have a 9-year-old daughter. I can't say, you know what? I mean, she's 9. I get that everybody else says she's a kid, but she's mature for her age and she's developing fast. And hey, this guy next door, I'm into weird stuff and he kind of likes her. I'm gonna let her go ahead and do it. I'm her a parent. I have control over her. I give consent. The law is gonna say, we don't give a damn what you give consent to. That's rape. Period. So no, an adult cannot just give consent and that turns it into law or not.
But actual sex, as opposed to talking to kids about sex, because during sex education, you still need to get papers filled out from your parents in order for them to talk to you about that.
That's a good point. Yes.
If you don't, that's illegal. Your kid cannot go in that classroom.
I agree with that.
Right. And you was in middle school at the time.
Yep.
Imagine an elementary school kid who's not even developed. They're not even asking the parents if they want these books in these classes. They just doing it. That's when it's illegal.
I don't disagree with your point. You make a good point. We did have to get consent, right? I was, I guess, arguing with the blanketed statement is that it's always been illegal to talk to kids about sex. You cannot talk to no kid about sex. But now you're saying, which is a slight deviation from that, is you cannot talk to a kid about sex. That's illegal unless you have consent.
It's parents. Well,
unless you have parental or guardian consent, right?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So that moves it into another space. See, this is why these pages of these laws and rules are so long, because they have to sit and go over all of the possibilities that might come up. And then they have to go back and amend and add to new possibilities that they didn't think of. Right. And so,
but to put in perspective, why would an adult want to talk to a kid about that anyway?
No. I get that. I'm telling you, we on the same page about that. We ain't even gonna. Matter of fact, we're gonna have a whole episode about that because I feel like I want us to just be on the same page, riding on them. Okay. I don't want us to be on different pages. I want us to get in the same boat on that one. So at Cornell, right?
Yes.
Hold on, let me pull this up. My bad. I ain't trying to pull nothing. I ain't trying to pull nothing. All right. I don't like that background color, man. What is it? Looks all. Anyway, I'll deal with that later. My chat. Okay. Social. Okay. All right. So you can let me raise that up for you. Oops. Hold on. Look, I'm the wrong thing. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Yeah, but we're trying to get it right. Let me get it together. Okay. You see that?
Yep.
Okay. So the first paragraph is just kind of going over pedophilia as a disorder. This is the law, Cornell Law School, right? So they deal with specifically the law as it were, right? Second paragraph down. Again, anybody want to look this up? law.cornell.eu/WEX/pedophilia. There's a lot behind that. Go there and hopefully you'll find it. All right. While pedophilia itself does not give rise to criminal liability, acting on it does. Okay, so that says I can like kids all I want. I can think all them little 6-year-old girls are just sexy. Just want to butter them up. As long as I just think that, there's no criminal act. Right? I can think that all day long in my house. Right. I just can't act on it. We agree with that? Right. All right. Many jurisdictions make it a felony to engage in sexual contact with minors, which would be an example of acting on pedophilia. We agree with that. Yep. For example, California Penal Code 288 states that any person who willfully or lewdly commits any lewd or lascivious act upon or with the body or any part of the member thereof of a child who is under the age of 14. Now we have a number. Who is under the age of 14 with the intent of arousing, appealing to, or gratifying the lust, passions, or sexual desires of that person or the child is guilty of a felony and shall be punished by imprisonment in the state prison for 3, 6, or 8 years. These are objective facts. Acting on pedophilia while by possessing or distributing sexual images of minors also gives rise to criminal liability. This is another version of it. For example, California Penal Code 288.2 states that every person who knows, should have known, or believes that another person is a minor. That's a stretch. That's sketchy right there, because now they're talking about your perception. And I know you have seen, I mean, they said 14, so I ain't never seen nobody 14. Actually, no, take that back. I have a niece right now who is 13, 14. She's 13 or 14. She is taller than I am, which ain't hard, but she's taller than I am. She's like around 5'11". She is more developed than my wife. And she wears a ton of makeup because her mother allows her to. If you saw her in the club and she told you that she was 23, you wouldn't give it a second thought. I guarantee you. There are times right now that I'm like, I look at her, I forget that a couple years ago, I was like, man, I can't believe she's like, I thought she was about to graduate or something. They were like, no, she's still 12. I'm like, I hadn't seen her in a couple of years. I'm like, 12? You don't see kids, you forget how many years went by. She was 12, and I thought she was like deep into high school. So that's causes me concern that it's left to perception, because I guarantee you, bro, you try to get the number. I'm just saying. Or knowing or believes another person, or believes that where's that? No, there we go. Who knows, should have known, or believes that another person is a minor, and who knowingly distributes, sends, causes to be sent, exhibits, or offers to distribute or exhibit by any means, including by physical delivery, telephone, electronic communication, or in person, any harmful matter that depicts a minor or minors engaging in sexual conduct to the other person with the intent of arousing, appealing to, or gratifying the lust or passions or sexual desires of that person or of the minor, and with the intent or for the purposes of engaging in sexual intercourse, sodomy, or oral copulation with the other person, or with the intent that either person touch an intimate body part of the other, is guilty of a misdemeanor punishable by imprisonment in a county jail not exceeding 1 year, or is guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment in a state prison for 2, 3, or 5 years. Okay, I'm gonna finish this out. Individuals convicted of such crimes relating to pedophilia often must register once they complete their prison sentence. For example, California Penal Code 290.46 requires convicted pedophiles to register with the California Department of Justice, and their information is made public. I will tell you, bro, a very scary thing. I don't know if you heard it. Or not. But a very scary thing that I just learned from reading that was that it is perfectly. Sorry, let me not say perfectly. Let me reword that. What I heard was the law is focused on the contact and the intent. If you disagree, let me know. But where is this coming from? Stream. That's weird. What I gathered was that it consistently talked about if you make contact with someone, trying to arouse, trying to get sex out of them. If you're into, or sorry, the last one was imagery, but the imagery was very specific. It said imagery of minors, right? So imagery of minors, but also making contact. So contact and intent are incredibly important when talking about the law around pedophilia, which the scary part for us, because again, we do agree on this, says that what I was saying was right. Unfortunately, I'd actually rather you be right. That someone in the crew, the crew, someone in the crew going to an elementary school, dressed a certain way, presenting their lifestyle a certain way, frolicking about with certain materials around these kids, letting these kids read these materials, reading it to them, showing to them, watching videos, playing music, whatever how they're distributing the content. As long as that content does not display sexual contact, as long as during that presentation they do not make sexual contact, and as long as there's no evidence of their presentation showing an intent to arouse, so it can be playful, it can be whimsical, If it is not intended to arouse, there's no criminal act. So whereas you're saying it's illegal, you can't do that, you can't talk to kids, what they're saying is it depends. Just like you said with the getting consent. It depends. If they are under 14, it has to meet a certain criteria for it to be a criminal act. Therefore, if a man walks into my elementary school, my kids' elementary school, right? All of my kids are in elementary school, 9, 7, and 4. I got 3 beautiful children, right? If a man walks in there with panties on, high heels, a princess skirt, angel wings, a wand, push-up bra, glitter on his belly button, a witch's hat, glittery gloves, and calls himself, I'm not gonna name the school that they go to, but he says that I'm the school fairy, the name of their school fairy. And I came to give you all bubble gum and glitter pops on glitter day. And he goes to each classroom, sprinkling glitter as he walks in and handing out glitter pops and bubble gum to all the kids. Even if he has hairy legs and a push-up bra and his genitalia may be visible, or like the evidence of his genitalia to an adult is visible. Like we're like, whoa, can I kind of see it? Whatever we think, as long as looking at the law, this is very scary for even me to say. Trust me, I'm not happy about what I'm saying. As long as he's not making any contact, he's not showing any intent that I'm trying to arouse these kids, I'm giving them bubble gum. No kid is sexually aroused by bubble gum. No kid is stimulated by glitter pops. This has nothing to do with all that. I'm the school fairy.
That's also a slippery slope too, with dressing a certain way, because even in strippers, you can bring a stripper to elementary school. That's called nude. You can't be around kids like that.
If you're nude.
That is nude. So a person.
No. But you just said if you're a stripper, you can't bring. Some strippers don't strip down to nothing. So I'm saying you. But that would actually go back to the intent. So if you're saying bring a stripper and they strip,
no,
then that
they come dressed in their dress clothes, like they got their little stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They showing themselves, exposing themselves. That's still nudity. Like you can't dress outside.
Well,
like
I would agree with that. And so, but there's a specific law. See, that's a perfect example. There's a specific law that talks about what's publicly acceptable, right? Like as a man, even if ain't no kids around, I can't just walk around with no underwear on down the middle of the street. That's still indecent exposure, right? There's a law for that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. You leaving? Okay. Yeah, there's a specific law for that, so you can point to that. So yes, then they wouldn't do it. But that the problem lies in this gray area. The problem lies in this gray area where I'm the school fairy, and I'm not saying anything about sex. I'm not touching anybody. I actually am clothed, even though it's fairy clothing. It's not against the law for me to dress this way.
But that's thinking like a criminal, because a criminal want to do crime.
I agree.
Slippery slope.
Hey, I agree.
Well, I can rob your house, but you can't shoot me. If you shoot me when my back is turned, I'm suing you. That's a criminal. At the end of the day, that is a pedophile.
At the end of the day, it is a pedophile. I don't disagree that well, I can't say that it is. I will say that at the end of the day, that exhibits some evidence of pedophilia. The reason I can't say that it is because you'd have to know, if you don't see intention or you don't see acts, you'd have to somehow be able to know the mentality of that person. No matter how something looks like to us, it's like somebody stealing stealing something from your house, you immediately look at that person like you a criminal. You wrong. You doing something wrong. You should go to jail. However, and I'm not saying that you'd be wrong, but to that person, let's just say that person is off some medication and they actually thought that they were going in their aunt's house. Like they really didn't know that it was your house. Perception matters. So it's like what you don't know what's in the person's head. So though you and I would look at that like, I can't say I would look at it as pedophilia. I would just look at it as like it's unacceptable. You can't do this. You ain't doing this around kids. But I can't. Pedophilia is a very specific thing. Pedophilia specifically means I'm attracted and want to engage. Even if I don't, I want to engage in lewd acts with minors. That's very specific. Some of these people are just twisted and they want to show off their lifestyle and they think that kids are the most accepting. And so I don't want to be around these adults. It's almost like Michael Jackson. I don't want to be around these adults that are constantly criticizing me. I just want to be with children because they're so loving and welcoming and they ain't even thinking what we thinking.
But Jay, you got to understand, as an adult, I can't say, hey, as a gangbanger, other people don't accept this. Let me go to these kids and talk to them because they more accepting. It don't work like that. It just we could play this game.
No, I'm not. I think that sometimes when we do this a lot, I think sometimes when I start getting into objective and political truths, that's when we get on our slippery slope, because when it comes to personal truth, we're on the same page. I'm like, bro, I don't care what you think. Get away from my kids. I don't care what. I wouldn't even care if it was legal. Get away from my kids. You got to talk to me. Period. That's how we look at it. That's our personal truth. When we start talking about objective truth, that's when I start getting into a more black and white space of what we think and how we look at it and what the law actually allows.
Yeah, but like you said before, laws change over time, right? So
right.
If we sat there and not said nothing about it, so what becomes more acceptable is like, if it's basically tolerance. I have tolerance for it. It's okay. Yeah. It's a slippery slope, so I'm gonna let this I'll let it get away with it because hey, remember, I don't know if you watch SpongeBob or not, but it's like remember they would draw a circle around that little circle, and then it would be a fish that if they go outside the circle, they beat them up.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch SpongeBob a lot, but I do remember that. Remember that.
That's literally what it is. Like, all right,
you square it up on. Yeah.
Right. Hey, you know what? Okay, as long as they don't touch this circle, I'm okay with it. Eventually, that circle gonna get smaller, because tolerance. All they want is tolerance.
No. But I don't disagree with that. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm actually pointing it out so we can speak to it properly. I'm pointing it out to say, instead of us just walking around saying it's illegal for them to do that, let's look it up and find out, is it illegal? And then when we find out it's not, now let's try to work on making it illegal. See, sometimes we get caught up in these other things. And the idea is sometimes you got to try to play by the game, because you're exactly right. The criminal is playing by their game. They're playing within the gray area. So what you got to do is lessen the gray area. But if you don't lessen it and you just kind of walk around like, I can't believe they're doing this. They can't do this. This is illegal. And we all just like, yeah, that's right. And we just sit in our galvanized groups like, we right. That is illegal. That's crazy. They get to do this. Is wild. And we leave it at that. They're going to keep doing it more and more, just like they do. But if we go, whoa, it ain't illegal. They're actually okay to do that, which is crazy. Now we start to try to go get petitions signed to raise the age limit, because now we know it's 14. Now we get petitions signed to now add in new things that aren't just intent and contact. Now it's more like getting into a child's mind. What should a child be exposed to? Now we can try to add language for exposure into the law. So now if you add exposure, think about it. Like I said, everything was about contact and intent. If someone that we voted for, because nobody's done it, right? We can agree nobody's stepped in to be like, let's start to try to make harsher lines with this LGBT. Everybody's walking with it. Both sides.
No.
They talk. Both sides talk about it, but neither side has done something to stop it.
Look at DeSantis.
What, with Disneyland?
No, he outlawed.
I mean, Disney World?
Look, forget what I'm saying. Look what he did.
Okay, I'll look it up later. We'll look at DeSantis.
He banned books. He banned those books. And they said, oh, he's trying to ban books. No, he's banning books talking about sex with kids. He's banning books. That's out. But they flipped it and said that he just want to ban books.
That's a good point.
He showed on a press conference the book he banned. He said, look what it's showing. They said, I'm banning books. Look what it's showing. So they are doing something, but Democrats are all on the same side. I never see John F. Kennedy. That's my boy. I will vote for him. But outside of him, nobody else talking. Nobody else saying nothing wrong.
I don't disagree with that. One of my biggest complaints about the party is that I don't disagree with that at all. So,
but this is the reason why. BlackRock. Look it up.
Okay.
I don't want no.
Everybody look it up. BlackRock.
Yes.
We need to speak to that. We all need to know about it.
Yes.
We need to understand what's going on. I rock with you. I'm with you.
It's a multi-billion-dollar corporation who invests in companies who has they call it a CSG score or something like that, to where they have to bend the knee to LGBTQ. How far could you go? Target may not agree with it, but in order to get funding, they have to bend the knee.
Yeah.
Dodgers might not agree with it, but when you look at their funding and who funds them, BlackRock funds them. So hey, just like lobbyists, I'll fund you. If you don't want me to take away this funding, show me your CSG score.
Gotcha.
And that's what they want to do to us too with the currency, with the digital currency. They want to control us the same exact way. You're compliant. Okay. If you're not compliant, I'll freeze your bank account.
Okay. We'll get into that. So
okay.
let's get back to this pedophilia gray area, right?
Yes.
The law is specific about contact and intent.
Yes.
Imagine, instead of us focusing so much, and when I say us, I'm talking about both sides. You know me, I exist in a purple state. I'm in the middle. I'm nowhere near extreme right. I'm nowhere near extreme left. And so I have some conservative values. I have some liberal values. That just is what it is. That's me as a person, right? So that's my personal truth. But if we get away from just the complaining about what they're doing and start to get into the legality of what they're doing and start to try to present new legislation or new laws based in the area of exposure. Imagine that, just that one word, exposure. That changes the books. That changes the fairy story time. That changes a lot of that. Because now that turns into an illegal thing. Right now, they can dance in the gray area of, I'm not trying to sexually arouse anyone. I haven't said anything that would suggest that I'm even interested in these kids sexually. I didn't touch any kids sexually. I didn't do.
Intent is a slippery slope. Intent is a slippery slope. I could ask a person, did you mean to steal that? That wasn't my intent, but I did grab it. It's a slippery slope. I mean,
it would depend. I do agree, but that would depend on the rest of the defense of that. Like if you said, I didn't mean to grab it, I wasn't trying to steal, I didn't mean to grab it, but you know, when I threw my jacket on, the jacket, it kind of has the material of that thing like Velcro to the jacket. I didn't even realize I walked out with it. It's like,
Jay, in injustice, the hardest thing to prove is intent. The hardest thing to prove.
I agree. But that's exactly. That's why I'm saying if you have something that's super hard to prove and something that's incredibly easy to prove when it comes to pedophilia. Did they touch this person? Right? Did they come in contact with any genitalia or member of this kid in any sexual, lewd, or lascivious way? That's easy, right? That's a lot easier. Did they mean when they all of a sudden, like, you know, this adult has warts, and so when they started scratching themselves, did they intend for the kid to be interested and aroused by it, or were they just itching and it was so bad they couldn't control it? I
Okay,
agree.
Jay, what
Super
about
hard, super hard to prove, but exposure. That's why I'm saying exposure. This is gonna be my new movement. Exposure shifts it. Exposure is easy. You were there. You knew that there were children there. You brought these materials. You wore this outfit. You
Jay,
presented this program, this movie, and you knew children were. That's exposure. That's easy. That's closer to being easy to prove, like contact, than intent. I agree with you.
but what about intent? All right, so what if intent goes this far? Why
Hold
do you
on.
want to
Let me
talk to a kid
make
as an
sure
adult?
Pac. Make sure
Huh?
Pac is. I gotta make sure Pac is in there.
This dude, man.
Because you know Pac be listening. Pac be giving us the real. All right, go ahead, man.
Nah, he was a fool before he left us. What if intent goes this far? Why do you want to talk to kids about a sexual preference as an adult, anyways? That's intent. What do you want to talk to children for in the first place?
But see, but I agree with you as far as like the whole gray area, because if they're whether they're lying or telling the truth, right? If their response is, I almost committed suicide 5 times in my life. I actually attempted 4 times and just ended up hospitalized. And I later realized it was the hatred I had for myself. And that hatred, I believe, came from when I was a child, not really knowing myself. And when I was a child, and I did try to go and tell my father that I felt like I might be homosexual, he beat me very bad. And I never talked about it again. And so I started to hate that side of me because I knew it got me in trouble. Well, that's why I have a new mission in life, and I don't want the next kid to feel like that. I don't want the next kid to succeed in his suicide attempt. I want him to love himself or herself. And so that's my mission in life. That person has taken away all of your sexual intent, even if they're lying. I just made that up. So if I can make that up and that ain't even my truth, I know they can make up something way better if they feel like it is their truth or if it is their truth. But that's why I agree with you that intent is hard. And you don't know intent unless somebody confesses to it, dang near.
That's what I'm saying.
Or you got to be able to put all the puzzle pieces together so much, like they said, either you knew, should have known, or most people would have known that this was this, and that was this, and they were going to be here, and this thing was going to do that, and they were going to respond. Like, you got to prove a lot when you're trying to get intent. I don't disagree. But again, did you? They call the cops. Why did they call the cops? Because this new foundation called B2B Foundation said they had some children materials that they wanted to present, and they presented all these acceptable materials in their interview process. But when they showed up, B2B, they had these books that were called Booty to Booty, and they were talking about kids rubbing booties together. You call, that's exposure. That's illegal. It doesn't matter your intent now. It doesn't matter, did you touch the kid now? You exposed them to it, or you tried to. Pack it up. You're all going to jail. That's exposure. I'm saying that, to me, and I don't know if anybody else out there agrees. I don't even know when other people are watching this. You could be watching this in 2030, and maybe everything that we're saying is irrelevant at this point. But right now, in 2023, the issue that I see is that we haven't been smart enough to approach it from an objective political truth space to where we try to work on, and maybe DeSantis did, cool. Enough of us haven't in enough states with the people that find themselves in the purple state place or completely conservative that are saying like, yo, let's figure out a way to make what they're doing illegal. Let them live their life. I don't think you have a problem with them living their life. I think you have a problem like me in them living their life in a way that enforces it or inflicts it on other people. We don't do that with anything.
I wanted to touch on a subject where you said that,
My bad.
we're not doing a great job of finding a way to basically like not flip it, but to make
get
it
rid of the
illegal.
gray area.
Right. But the thing is that this is a fairly new because it didn't used to be okay to do this. Period. As a society, we wouldn't have never allowed this. But the thing is that they have backing now. They have people that fund them. They have people that will stick up for them doing that. And most likely it's it's Democrats. And like I said, I'm telling you because
I don't disagree.
It doesn't make sense because Black people, we vote heavily for them, and let's bring it all together. We vote heavily for them, and that's not even our culture. We don't even agree with that, and we wholeheartedly don't agree with that.
But yes, you're right. But I'll be honest to say that for Black people, if you're gonna say that, you got to take the whole party, right? The whole Liberal Party or the whole Conservative Party. Neither one of them is our culture, to keep it gangster with you. They both have pieces of our culture, but neither one of them is holistically our culture. They're just
I think that Republican Party is holistically our culture because before shaking butt, before gang banging, before all this foolishness, before modern day times where everything is acceptable, right? We had moral Christian values. The old white way. People say the Republican Party is old white folks that don't want to give up. It's conservative. You don't want to give up your values. I want to conserve what I have. This is where we come from. This is the basis of before we integrated into Black and whites. We were most married. We were the most married. This is what we believe. When you really think about it, not saying how the Republican Party is now, but the actual the backbone of Republican, that's what we are. We are conservative. We don't like all this foolishness. We never did. Grandma, if you would have told great grandma that this is going on, she would be like, never would your grandfather allow any man to come to your school like that. Never would your grandfather would allow it.
I don't disagree with that, but you're making one mistake in your argument is you're comparing the one party from its original state and then another party from its current state. And I think that if you go back to even the original state of Democrats, you'll find a lot of similarities in the desires and the acts of Democrats that coincide with our culture. It wasn't like the Democrats were just 100%. That is, they've never been anything that looked like us or for us, didn't do anything. That's not true.
The Democrats, they created the KKK. They were for slavery. Not saying the Republicans wasn't, but more.
But you can't do that then. If it was both of them, it was both of them.
But all I'm saying is this: you had some. All I want is resistance. If I'm in tyranny, I want somebody. I want to look at a motherfucker and say, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't kill all of them. Maybe we shouldn't.
So you saying the Confederacy was Democrats?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
So Republicans. Okay.
Black people started the Republican Party.
I don't think I knew that.
You look it up. We started it.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that. Matter of fact, I just got done listening to a podcast about the development of the parties, and I remember I'm having a hard time remembering the names of them, but in the beginning there wasn't a Republican or Democratic Party. They had different names. But when they started talking about the creation of the Republican Party, I honestly don't recall it being black people. So I have to look that up.
Yeah, black people did create the Republican
So,
Party.
so let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this,
Yes.
because we can also say that, you know, when the Bloods were created, it was about policing and policing our communities, right? It was
I
about
think it was
don't
a
come to our.
psyop. I think it was a psyop, but yeah.
Well, that's what has been stated as the truth of why in the beginning, you know, gangs even started. They were just trying to protect the women and children, protect their block. Don't come over here. Police were coming into the area, so and unless you want to, investigate in that further, that's what we're gonna move with that.
We were
Okay,
told. Yes,
that's
what
we
we were told. Yes.
Okay, all right. So with that, and then we look at what it is now, and now it doesn't look anything like that before, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
So should black people look at what the Republican Party used to look like when black Republicans, from what you're saying, started it, or should they look at what it is today?
I think that they should look at what it is today and what in history, why they think the way they think. Because like I said, I was a long time Democrat. I was bought into this like game banging. This was what it was. I let my auntie fill on my ballot, down ballot Democrat. I didn't even know who these people was, what they stood for.
Right.
But the thing is that how I got into conservatism is basically looking like, dang, like I don't agree with this. Like, okay, I've been voting for this. I don't agree with gay. I'm not against LGBTQ, whatever, but it's not in the Bible. So I'm against it. So what I'm saying is I'm not.
I mean,
for
it's
that.
in the Bible. It's just not advocated in the Bible.
It's not in the Bible. Like it's not accepted.
In Sodom and Gomorrah, right.
It's not accepted. Yeah. It's not cool. Right. It's not okay.
Right.
But in the black culture, we never was okay with that. I wondered why. Right? It's just that we was never okay with it. And the thing was that they pushed further and further.
We were never okay with what? People being gay?
No, that was okay. But you wouldn't know. You were not supposed to know that your uncle.
I just want to know what you're saying. We were never okay with what in the black culture?
Morally, it was not okay to be gay. Morally, no, you're not. It's not okay to be gay. You wouldn't even know your uncle was gay until you got older.
So you saying that even though people knew that Luther Vandross was gay, they had an issue with it. Black people didn't listen to Luther. They didn't still go to Luther concerts, even though they knew Luther was gay.
No, you would probably listen to Luther, but this is the thing. Niggas, we good with, I fuck with you because of this. But all that other shit, no. I don't rock with all that. I like your music, but stay over there with all that.
So then that's different. You're not saying that we had an issue with you being it. You're just saying we had issue with the activity. Like we don't necessarily need to know about it.
It was not acceptable.
Okay.
It was not acceptable.
Okay.
We like I said, we ain't gonna kill you. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you.
Right.
We rock with you, family. You family, but all that.
Ain't nobody gonna get killed, smack. Ain't nobody gonna get killed, smack.
Hey, facts.
Right.
Facts. But we wasn't with all that. My thing is that when I look, especially now and today, our women. You know, I'm happy you found your woman, but nowadays women are not how they right. Women are it's bad, right? It's okay to be a hoe. It's okay to be dysfunctional. It's okay. It's okay to have 30 baby daddies. It's okay to have 30 baby mamas. It's okay. In a Democratic Party.
Is this all Democrat stuff still? You saying Democratic women it's okay to be hoes? Like I'm trying to connect back what I'm to saying the Democrat.
It's more acceptable. Like we were talking about the gay stuff. We might not agree with it, but you know what I'm saying? It's open that we don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I guess I'm still you are, and I guess both sides kind of do this. We kind of like dwindle one side down to these finite points, especially to the most extreme of that party, and now that's kind of like everything. It would be like like to you, MAGA, right? Make America Great Again, right? When was it? When was it? What is the time period that reflects great again or again?
America was always great until the FBI, until government was enforced, until government it start impeding in people's business, overtaxing, just trying to destroy the middle class. That's when that's when America got bad.
Okay, so that's a huge gaping window that you just gave. Like, so I'm trying to get something I can sink my teeth into. So
okay, so
trying to destroy the middle class, taxing.
Okay, so like I would say that the like the 18s, bro, like when America was developing, there was no, it was a heavily Christian moral country.
In the 1800s, it was more moral. So
Yes.
make sure I get this right.
Hey, look, you trying to bring up slavery or what?
No, I wasn't even gonna go there yet. I wasn't even gonna go to slavery because that's easy. I wasn't gonna go there. I'm just asking you, was America great in the 1800s? And that's the great that you stand by wanting to go to again.
I think that when America was created in departure from the British, the UK, the United Kingdom, we was great. We stood tall. We wanted to be individuals. We became that. And we created something better. Freedom. Not under a king, not under a kingdom. I just think American history is beautiful, to be honest.
Okay.
Let's get into it, bro.
Let's get into it. You know, it's funny because I ain't gonna talk about it. But we here. We here. Pod is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
Pod is good.
All right. So I would like to speak to you about a big factor in the 1800s. Okay.
Yeah.
And I will be honest that, especially, you know, me being your elder by a few years, and because you're so impassioned and you're such a great guy and you're so intelligent and I feel like you are fighting for the culture that you believe to be right, to suggest that a time when people that look like you were considered so minute in society, in a time where everybody else, it was okay for them to be great, but you. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say so far. So okay. we gonna open a whole new, because we done got off the classification. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We done got off the classification. You know, a lot of people know a lot about Reconstruction. And I think that it is necessary for us to venture this conversation into that space, so that, you know, we can deal with a big matter, right?
Yeah.
You know, Jim Crow was, you know, huge.
Right.
I believe that Black people are still living from the soured effects in that portion of America's history that is Jim Crow. And so when I hear the 1800s, I won't even go into, you know, it sounds like even back at the Revolutionary War when we were still slaves. I'm not going to go into slavery, because if you feel like that's a good space for America to get back to, there's not a lot of dialogue there. I'm gonna be honest. It ain't a whole lot of space we can really go to with that. At least today. We a couple hours in. We're gonna try to make sure we, stop the combo by around 3 hours and get into something else, or get into something else before 3 hours. I know you got to get to work tonight. I ain't trying to, have you not able to sleep because your brain is still still going. But let's talk about Jim Crow law real quick.
Yes.
Jim Crow law in U.S. history. Any of the laws that enforced racial segregation in the South between the end of Reconstruction in 1877 and the beginning of the civil rights movements in the 1950s. We didn't even have the movements until the 1950s. Jim Crow was the name of a menstrual routine performed beginning in 1828. Now, I'm pretty sure you know a lot about Jim Crow and Jim Crow laws. But I would like for people that might be listening that don't know, I just kind of want to pull that up as a precursor to what we're about to get into. We will go over some of the Jim Crow laws, as they were. Let's see if we can find just a listing of the laws. I don't want to look at other people's opinions of it. I just want the laws. Let's see if Wikipedia has the actual laws. Great. Brown versus Brown. Yeah. This is talking a lot about the effects, but early attempts to break Jim Crow, the origins, compromise. Sorry, everybody. I just, we're going to do this a lot on this show. We're not always going to have all the content ready. I'm not Jim Rogan. I don't have Jamie, waiting right there in the cut with with all the pages and details available. We gotta kind of do it off the cuff, but at least that lets you know that we trying. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to the truth, and we're trying to be honest about it. As you can hear, when we talk about certain things, there's a lot of it we agree on, and then there's a lot we disagree on, and we try to just research to find what the truth is. Okay, I can't find it fast enough. Fight. I don't know what this is, so I'm not going to read this. The Fair Fight Initiative, and it's sponsored, so I don't want to go into it. History Channel always does me well. I feel like they approach things very much from the middle, without too much color. They just kind of are telling you history, and I do believe that history is valid and valuable if we're talking about using the word again, because again means to redo something that's already happened, revisit a time that's already past us. And I do believe that a lot of this breathes on Black people in a certain way, especially people on the left that say, even if I'm against the extreme portions of the left, it by no means to some people infringes so harsh to the point where I'm willing to accept someone wanting me to go back to when I could be castrated in the middle of the street. Some people, they don't see one substituting the other. And so people do get into this space of voting for the less of the two evils. And sadly, I've heard that from both sides as we've entered elections in the past few terms. I just don't.
Emotionally.
You said what?
That's voting emotionally.
I don't disagree, but when that's your only, when you feel like that's your only option, what else do you do? Not vote?
But feelings change. Feelings are just feelings.
I don't disagree, but feelings are valid to that person who's a voter. Feelings are not invalid just because they change later. In the moment, just like facts can change. We just talked about laws can change, things can change, but in the moment, like we talked about, the judge just instructs the jury, it is still relevant in that moment.
Yeah, I get you, but when you vote emotionally and off feelings, you get a Joe Biden, you get a market crash, you get someone who can't think properly, who is not even fit to be a representative of the people. And on the main stage, you embarrass us because of our decision to be emotional.
I,
And I think that Make America Great Again is not talking about Jim Crow. That wasn't in the speeches. That wasn't when he was
whoa, nope, you're not going against it yet.
okay.
I'm not talking about what MAGA was talking about. What I said was for you, someone that supports MAGA and the
Yes,
move for MAGA, what does it
yes.
mean to you when it says to make America great again? And you said the 1800s. If you had said the 1600s, I wouldn't even talked about this. You said
No,
it.
but the thing is, I said the 1800s, even during Jim Crow, black people were thriving still as families. We were good just because they had laws against us. And once we were when we were segregated, we did the best. We did the best as a society. So yes, it was effed up for us, but why does it have to be effed up for us to be good to one another? Why?
I'm not fighting against that at all, but I will say to say that we did our best and we did great is very subjective because if you and I okay, look at it this way. Actually, I'm not gonna bring them up. I'm gonna do a hypothetical. I actually have a real life example, but I'm gonna do a hypothetical. If you and I start a business, right, and the business booms by year 3, we got investors knocking on the door. People, Mark Cuban wants to buy the company. We got an evaluation of $3.2 billion. But I say, well, but because it's a company about music, and because I've actually done music, I've written music, I've put out albums, because I've done that and you haven't. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of write into it this new law that if whatever we get, I get 98%, you get 2%. Now, mind you, 2% of the $4 billion that they're offering us is still life-changing money. You're doing really good, buddy. You're doing amazing. You're doing better than you would have been doing without the business or without that 2%. So I want you to just focus on the fact that it's really good for you. Don't really look at the 98 that you're actually entitled to, that you actually put your blood, sweat, and tears for as well.
But
But
think about this,
hey,
Jay.
hey, hey,
When you
hey, 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 2%, buddy. It's really
but it,
good.
but it's easier to become miserable and a victim when you worry about that 98%. We had, like you said, we had that 2% and we stretched it and made it work. Now we got 98% and we can't even figure out what the hell to do. We can't even get married no more. We can't stand to be around each other no more. So with that 2%, we made it work. Why with 98%, we can't even figure it out no more.
That's not based off just the money. You know that. That has nothing to do with just the money.
I'm talking about I'm talking about of the 2%, 98%. Not what I'm talking about is that
I
you
know,
got 2%.
but like the like this women's movement and this these freedom like there's been a lot of other things that negatively affected even government funding, a lot of things that affected the family and how money is treated and how all of that, way more than the fact that they didn't give us our rightful, what we were owed. The fact that we came back from the war fighting the same war that y'all did, and we came back effed up. We came back with no jobs. We came back still in slavery in some situations, still without freedom, and y'all come back as heroes, celebrated, blah blah blah. I'm saying that's the problem.
Okay, what I'm saying is while watching this and understand about American history is that American history is just American history. Outside of America, there were still slaves. In Africa, there were slaves. In tribes, there were slaves. We make it a black people, white people thing, but in culture, in society, that was normal. And mind you, slavery is still going on, especially in Syria. It's still going on in black areas. What we focused on was what happened to us. When in the times when you talk about the times, That was normalized. If I conquered you, if I conquered your people, you're going to be a slave, or I'm just going to eradicate you. You're not going to even get a chance to live. I'm going to indoctrinate your women, kill your kids, and kill the men because we don't need you. That's how it was before the times, right? We lucky we even have the right. We have a right to even have a history to talk about this crap because usually when they conquer you, you don't get the right to live. You're gonna rebel eventually. I know you're gonna rebel. I know you're gonna talk about this again. So guess what? I'm just gonna kill all y'all. I ain't gonna have no competition. And guess what? I'm gonna indoctrinate the women. I'm gonna rape and pillage them. And guess what? Your culture is done. You're done. But we gotta understand is that because Black people, we love, not saying that we victims, but you gotta understand that our people went through shit so we didn't have to. If they flip back in their grave and they were come alive right now, the same stuff we fighting for that they didn't never have, that they already fought for and won, they will probably be so ashamed because we got so much shit now that they work for, but we still complaining. It's like, bro, it's like me growing up in South Central and around a gang infested area. I raised my kids in the suburbs, but they still mad because of what I went through. Son, what are you talking about? You didn't go through what I went through. I gave you an upper hand. Huh?
But what if he's still going through the effects of it? You know, sometimes a kid pay for the sins of their daddy. So what if, even though they live in a new area, because that does happen. Sometimes, you know, you can't get away from it. You live in a new area, but you named him, you know what I'm saying, South Central Conservative Jr. And so they like, oh, South Central, your daddy. And next thing you know, he's still walking around with the stench of what you dealt with or what you fought for. And that happens. People sometimes treat it like the things that Black people are complaining about now are these brand new things that have never been fought against, that have never been dealt with. And why are you still talking about this? It's like, no. People are there. There is a such thing as people right now living out the effects of their ancestors and can't get out of it. That happens.
But it's a mentality.
No. I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you through redlining. I can prove it to you through a lot of institutions. This is systemic. I'm not talking about.
But Jay, think
mindset.
About this.
Mindset is a whole nother thing.
But the thing is this: if I had that mindset, I know how I would have never made it out the hood. I know, because if I think that it's an invisible boot on my neck, how the hell am I gonna get up? What's the reason to getting up? I don't even want to fight. If it's already a losing battle, why fight? Why fight? If I already feel like I'm gonna lose, I'm not gonna even try. And that's what we telling people nowadays. I understand what we went. I'm Black, bro. I'm conservative. I understand what we went through, but I understand that whatever I'm going through now ain't crap compared to what my ancestors went through. So I'm not gonna even play that game. I'm not gonna play that game. I'm not, because that's spitting on them. It's like, bro, if they came back nowadays and like, hey, bro, you got this, but you complaining about this? I didn't have this. What are you talking about? If you don't get up off your ass and do something, I wish I had what you had. I wish I had what you had. I fought for that. You got it. Do what you can with what you got. And that's that 2%, 98%. Do what you can with what you got.
That part, everything else you said, I can kind of rock with, but I don't believe that. I don't believe, and I'm saying that because you got to remember, the reason they fought so hard was because they knew where we came from. We didn't go from 0 to 2. That's how you're saying it. You're treating it like we went from 0 to 2%. So do what you can with what you got. No, that's Jay, not why they fought. I'm not taking away the fight.
I'm not taking away the fight. What I'm saying is that we made it work.
No, but what I'm saying, bad. But what I'm saying is what you just got done saying, that they be like, no, just make it work with your 2%. That's not true. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't have continued to fight after slavery. They'd have been like, all right, cool, no slavery. We're gonna just work with what we got. No, they continue to try to get other rights. They continue to want to be able to vote. They continue to want to have fair education. They continue to want, because they know the American dream. They know what America can do. They know, as citizens of America, and as America petitions to the rest of the world during that time. You got to remember, America went through a time where it was actually asking people from the rest of the world to come to America so they could build it. They wanted people from other countries. As a matter of fact, they even offered them free land. So as Black people, we looking like, hold on, my nigga. I helped you build the White House. And you want somebody who's never even been here to come here and give them free land before you even let me get a job? I can't even get a paycheck and they can get free land?
But who do you blame now? Okay, now that we know that this happened,
and we know that a president, I forgot which one said that true wealth lies in the land. So I just want to add that to it. Go ahead.
That makes sense. But when I'm saying the 2%, what I'm saying about the 2%, I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying we didn't fight for more. What I'm saying is that we found a way to make it work as Black people. I'm not talking about the other world. What I'm talking about, we thrived in 2%. We thrived. We were doing better than white people. We were married. We were doing better economically. We were doing better than white people. Black Wall Street.
I don't know where
Wall Street.
I don't know where you get those facts though. I don't know where you get we were doing better than white people. Because again, you got to remember white people during that time they own the factory. They own agriculture. They own the hotels. They own the railroad system. They own the motor vehicle system. They own the airlines. I don't know how you're saying we're doing better than white people. How? When we didn't own nothing, and people go back to Black Wall Street. It was like one neighborhood in one little area, but they own the rest of the. How are we doing better?
Because how do you monetize life, right? If you think that owning everything is what makes life better, fine. But what I'm saying is, as families, shit that you die, you were a family unit. Shit that matters, not about what you leave here on earth. It's about not about financially what you leave here on earth. Is family values. That's what held this. What held America together for X amount of years. I forgot how they call it, the families, not the big corporations, not the owners, the families. That's what I keep getting back to. Outside of owning and all this other stuff, that don't mean you're happy.
Okay, so qualify. So maybe I misunderstood because we were talking about specific things which made me look at better a certain way. So before we continue on, qualify better. So I understand what you mean when you say we were doing better.
As a whole, as a community, Black people were together. We stuck together. We knew how. White people were just whatever, but Black people together. We stuck. We had our own stuff. If the thing is, if we didn't have it, we made it. Own bus stations. We didn't have no bus. We got to sit in the back of the bus. We make our own bus. If we're not doing it, we're gonna make our own. We were doing better because we had to make a way. We had to figure it out. The thing is that when we integrated with white people, it destroyed everything. The thing is that I'm not trying to say, well, we need to get back to 1800s and get back.
Oh, no. You're going to stand on that. No. You're going to stand on that. That's not. You going to stand on that. 1800 is your year. I could change your name on this thing to 1800. You better not play with me. I'll change your name.
No, that wasn't the point. The point was like when I said make America great again. The movement is not talking about slavery. That has nothing to do.
I wasn't talking about slavery.
But people always go back to it. When you talking about when was America great? That's what niggas talking about. We know that. Jim Crow law. We talking about that. I heard this argument many times.
They can talk about whatever they want. Like I said, we here. Well, I'm talking about I don't like to just blurt out. As you can tell, most of the things we've talked about, I kind of let you lead because I essentially I want to have a great argument, a great debate, but I also want to learn. And so I've never asked somebody who believes in MAGA, what time frame does that mean? I've heard people that believe in MAGA say, or that stand behind MAGA say, yeah, America needs to get back to that. America needs to go back to when it was great. America. So then I say, okay, when was that? I didn't come up with something. I didn't say, oh, you mean slavery? I didn't say that. Matter of fact, when you brought up slavery, I said, I'm not even talking about slavery, and I'm not going to.
But the golden age, basically, when Chips was not even when Chips was a quarter. When everything was less than what it is. When
But
you
even
could
if we
buy a
talk
house.
about, so okay, so you couldn't buy a house though. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
But now we can.
You keep talking about what people could do, but you wasn't one of them.
Guess what? Now
You
I
couldn't
am.
buy it.
But now I can. So guess
Right,
what? When I'm
right. But okay, perfect. So then why go back? If you couldn't do it then, why go back?
Because I'm a part of it now. So go back to when it was a golden age.
So go forward. No. Then you will go forward because you said you're a part of it now. So I don't want to go back to when I wasn't a part of it. I want to go forward as me a part of it.
Hey, Jay, you're a very smart intellectual person. If you keep sticking to this and you can't see further than that, it's like, God, bro, come on. You know dang well what we talking about.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. When I hear a black person talk about it, at times I can kind of get a feeling. But then if I hear a white person talk about it, I get a different feeling. If I hear a young white person talk about it versus an older white person, I get a different feeling. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to block out all the things that I might have misunderstood or heard and only go off of the conservative that I'm talking to. So if that conservative tells me 1800, okay, well, I'm gonna go with that. If that conservative tells me, well, basically after we fought against Europe and we became our own nation since then, okay, I'll go with that. But so I'm not choosing anything. I'm not saying, oh, you saying this. I haven't said that once. So I'm not trying to stick to one thing or not. I'm trying to listen and then investigate, which is what we're going to get back to, because you stopped my investigation of the 1800s and I'm not going to let you do it again. So I can't find the exact laws, but I will read this. And I just want to hear your take on it because this is a big part of America's 1800s. Okay. At the start of the 1880s, big cities in the South were not wholly beholden to the Jim Crow laws, and Black Americans found more freedom in them. This led to substantial Black populations moving to the cities as the decade progressed. White city dwellers demanded more laws to limit opportunities for African Americans. Jim Crow laws soon spread around the country with even more force than previously, because previously they were pretty much just in the slavery states. Public parks were forbidden from African Americans to enter, and theaters and restaurants were segregated. Segregated waiting rooms in bus and train stations were required, as well as water fountains, restrooms, building entrances, elevators, cemeteries, even amusement park cashier windows. You can't even be dead next to a white person. That's crazy. Laws forbade African Americans from living in white neighborhoods. Segregation was enforced for public pools, phone booths, hospitals, asylums, jails, and residential homes for the elderly and handicapped. Some states required separate textbooks for Black and white students. New Orleans mandated the segregation of prostitutes according to race. In Atlanta, African Americans in court were given a different Bible from white people to swear on. Marriage and cohabitation between white and Black people was strictly forbidden in most southern states. What's the nationality of your girl?
She's Asian and Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't do that. It was not uncommon to see signs posted at town and city limits warning African Americans that they were not welcome there. All right, now first off, this is actually really good because this is a very mild version of the Jim Crow laws. I thought it said explained. It actually says expand. So this was talking about the expansion of it. This doesn't deal with ripping away the strongest male in the group. This doesn't deal with taking the biggest man and beating him and castrating him in front of everybody else so that they comply. This doesn't deal with tar and feathering. This doesn't deal with even other stuff that existed outside of Jim Crow. Was like you were considered a good old boy if you walk across the street if you see a white person coming. These are the 1800s. It was considered good manners for you to take off your hat and say hi, even if you didn't get a hi back, and you better not demand one. They didn't have to. It was good manners for you. For you.
Hey,
for
this
you.
This don't affect me because I'm not going through that, and I appreciate the time that I appreciate that my people went through that.
No. Hold on. We not. Come on, y'all. We're not letting him off the hook. 1800 over here. We're not letting him. We're not gonna let him off the hook. Let's get back on this. I want to know. I want you to stay in that space. When you bring things to me, I try to stay in that topic. I try not to evade it, right? I want you to stay on this topic. In the 1800s, during the time frame we just read about, during what I said, or even if you take away what I said and just go off what we're reading, because that's actually documented from the History Channel. What are your thoughts if you heard a white Republican say, I want America to go back to this time because this is when we were great? How would you feel as a black male knowing these things?
I wouldn't feel no type of way because laws are already created. We already went. The thing is that it's easy to get offended. It's so easy to get offended. I could take it two ways. Okay, maybe he's saying that as a person understands what laws are already being created and fixed, but he's probably talking about it economically because we were doing good economically. Why does it have to be about slavery? Why does it have to be about Jim Crow? Unless he brought up Jim Crow, like we need to go right back to Jim Crow. Jim Crow was a great law that helped us get to where we were in the 1800s.
Why can't it just be all of it? Why? Let's not divvy it up. Let's just go off of what you said. You said the 1800s.
I'm intelligent. I'm intelligent enough to know that they not talking about that.
But that okay. So
what the black people
what you just said, you do not know for a fact. You do not know. Same way as I don't know. You don't know if there aren't a handful, 40%, 10% or 80% of people that say MAGA that will love everything that I just read to still be in order. You don't know that. So you can't split it up. You can't split hairs. You got to go off what a person says. Now, if he said, I would like to go back to the 1800s for these reasons, but I would want things socially to be more where they were in the 1900s. Like if he did that, then that's what you go off of. You're only going off the information given, just like in school. Like answer the question from what's on the page. Don't read into the question because you're gonna get the wrong answer.
But you read into it too. Like you literally said,
I'm not reading into this.
You literally read into it. Like, what does he mean when he says the 1800s? So the thing is that, like you said, it goes both ways. I'm not gonna read into it unless he says some outside outlandish stuff. But you gotta understand that there's many black Republicans. So you're telling me exclude the black Republicans when I say 1800?
Exclude the black Republicans when you say 1800?
Yeah, I wanted to get back to 1800s. Exclude them. So basically, we not. So I gotta assume that maybe 80% of people with MAGA agree with Jim Crow. I have to assume that it could be, or it could not. It could be or it could not. So what am I supposed to do?
When I look at the left, the party that I'm in, barely, I do exactly that. I try not to know or think that I know more than what I can actually prove that I know. So if something is not in front of me, I try not to just make too many assumptions because you're dealing with so many people that you don't realize that 1% of assumption can calculate tens of thousands of people, and so now you're wrong. You could potentially be wrong tens of thousands of times. So I just try my best. That's my way. I try to just stay away from too many assumptions. So I'm not assuming that if somebody else from MAGA said 1800 that they want Jim Crow. That's not what I'm saying. Your response could have been, oh yeah, I forgot about that part. I don't mean that. But America being great again, the way I would view it would be the 1800s, but minus this. So blah blah blah, whatever your explanation was.
I'm assuming, but Jay, I'm assuming that you know that I wouldn't want that for my, like, I know you know that, right? Like, why? I said, yeah, put that too. No, what I'm saying is that I want to enjoy the fruit, whatever they had. Now I'm a citizen. I want to enjoy that. I want that too.
Okay, so okay, let's get off that. So what you're saying is, outside of the actual social dynamics of the people of America during the Great Era, you just want to go back to the, well, I guess you can't even say the systems, because even the systems were against those certain people. You want to go back to the, I
want to go back to the Great Era and be a part of it. Now I'm a part of it. Now I get to.
So, but I guess this is so. I hear what you're saying. I think this is why people that are against MAGA have such a hard time with that, is because in order for what you're saying to be a reality, you would have to edit so much of it that it wouldn't be the same era anymore. Like literally, you would have to edit the law. You would have to edit corporate world. You would have to edit the education system. You would have to edit hospitals. You would have to edit social. You would have to edit voting. You would have to edit community. You would have to edit so much stuff to allow you in it. That I'm saying, hear me out, to the point where it's like, okay, well, now it's so much not the same time that it starts to sound like it should just be phrased a different way. Like maybe MAGA just wasn't the best phrasing for it. Because if it's phrased a different way, I think people would understand it more. But when you say make it great again, make America great again, it in its words say, let's make America to when it was great again. But that assumes that all the parts of that time or whenever you're saying were great. And that's what anything.
You too lyrical. Stop being lyrical and just take it normal. Like, dude, it doesn't have to be that deep. It's like when black people hear a motherfucker say something, it's like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean though? Like, no, I get you, but what do you mean?
Hey, get your bars off with me. Get your bars off.
But Jay, it ain't always gotta be fucked up like that. Like, a person could be innocent. Like, I ain't gotta have no preconceived notions. I ain't gotta have no underlying. I can just mean like, hey, bro, hey, let's make it back to the golden era, but with the same people we got right now. Because before in the 1800s, we weren't even considered really citizens like that. I'm a citizen now.
No, I you know what? I would say it this way. I would love for the next phase of America to apply all and only the greatest parts about its history for all citizens.
Yeah, I would. That's exactly what we're talking about when we say MAGA. It's not slavery. It's not Jim Crow. That's not in the. Yeah, we're not doing that because in society we've grown. Why go back to effed up foolishness? And I'm sure black people in the MAGA movement ain't voting for that. I know you see all these black niggas and you're not like, yeah, all of them want Jim Crow. Like, what? No. All
right, so because I got bars, I'm baiting you in, and you just fell in. I'm just letting you know. I'll let you know you fell in. So because what you're saying, I agree with. Right. I agree with. But you know what conservatives didn't do? The same thing that you just said you wanted me to do, the same thing that you're saying you assumed I would do, the same thing that you're basically saying is very obvious.
Right.
When they came out, I'm not talking about later on and all the the complexity that happened later with how things are handled. When the phrase Black Lives Matter was presented to Americans, Republicans, conservatives did not do what you just said you wanted me to do as a liberal. You did not, or I'm not going to say you because I don't know, but they did not go, you know what? They probably don't mean only them and everybody else lives are nothing. What maybe they mean something else. Let's ask, or let's assume the best. Let's assume, no. What are you talking about? No, all lives matter. All lives matter. And then had the gall to then follow it up with blue lives matter. So that now you've done two things. You said that we're wrong for making it specific to Black. You're right for making it general to all, but you're also right in making it specific to blue. Come on.
You know why? It's because.
So you agree? You think that was right?
I think it was right because, first of all, Black Lives Matter is a Marxist group, and they came out before they even before they started the group. The leaders, they are funded by George Soros. George, you need to look that up. I'm not making this shit up. So we know this
from the beginning.
The beginning. The leaders. Bro. Nothing's in this. I'm telling you, nothing in the United States is started without no funding.
Oh,
there's somebody in the back pulling the strings. There's somebody, and I'm telling you this.
But you know that for a fact. For a fact, you are telling me for a fact, George Soros is the originating funding person to the Black Lives Matter movement, and not like in some group where no one knows, like specifically they knew. Was he the sole funder, or was he like one of the major? Was he like small? Like give me that funder. Exactly. So the sole funding person
of Antifa, but he does it in every country. Every anti-group, he funds them. He funds them. He's a billionaire.
On both sides.
No, not on both, but maybe on both sides.
Come on, see? You see how they do? You just said every. And then now, so if I bring up the ones on the conservative side, now it's like, well, not us. Come on. No, you can't say every and then can't do that.
No, but those on the conservative side knows about him. That's the thing is this.
I don't mean
most people in the Democratic Party do not even know who George Soros is.
But what does that have to do with what I just
asked? Because he's the one pulling the strings, and y'all just think that this is organic. Y'all think it's organic.
No, but I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, who cares about in the question that I'm asking? Okay, let me not just say who cares. In the question that I'm asking about, you said any anti-group he funds. So I said on both sides. You start talking about, but y'all know him. Okay, people know people and still let the mob fund them.
No,
people know somebody and they still let the Crips fund them. That don't mean nothing. So I'm saying
because he's a terrorist.
So you're saying there's no conservative anti-group that is funded by Jeff Soros.
His name is Joe Soros.
Joe Soros.
No, and his son is in the leadership of a Democratic Party.
I did hear that, but okay.
George Soros. And what I'm saying is this: Black Lives Matter was a psyop. They stole the money for a reason. A lot of people say, "Well, I just stand for the organization. I don't stand for the organization. I stand for the movement." You can't do both. You can't. I ain't never heard no Batman and Bruce Wayne. Who are you? You can only pick one. It's like Democrats say, "Yeah, I agree with reparations, but I don't agree with all this sexualization of kids."
Is it
you taking all of it? You brought it all in.
Is it Joe Soros or George Soros?
George
Soros. Come on, man, get it right, bro.
I said it.
You done told me 3 different names, man.
George.
Okay, all right. So he okay. I'm gonna do my. We always do this. I'm gonna do my investigate. We done talked about him before, but that's a huge point you just made, that you're saying he does not fund basically any anti-conservative group because y'all know who he is, but somehow on the liberal side, he funds all of theirs. He's the sole funder of Black Lives Matter. They knew it.
Yes.
Or no, you said you guys know who he is. We don't know who he is. So they didn't know that he was a terrorist. They just took his money.
No, they knew. They're Marxists.
Okay, but you just
They
said,
literally said they're Marxists.
But you just said, but y'all know and we don't. So what do y'all know then if you're saying we don't?
I'm talking about the average day person who wants to stick up for Black lives. The average day person.
Okay.
Y'all don't know that it's a master in the back saying, "Hey, I need what is it called? Civil disobedience. I need that from y'all. I'm gonna fund y'all. Do what I tell y'all to do." You think it's organic and people really give a fuck about Black people. I'm telling you that that's not true.
Yeah, I don't.
They don't care about Black people. Even the leaders of Black lives, they don't care about Black people. They never care.
I don't think that at all. And I'll be honest with you, I don't believe that most of the people, and we'll do it. We'll have like a panel discussion one day, and we'll get like, it's gonna be like a 10-hour thing, but we'll get like some conservatives and some liberals, because I don't believe that that's what they feel. I believe that what they feel is this. I believe that a lot of people when it comes to Black Lives Matter, it has a deep superficial meaning that I want to be able to say that we went through this. You saw this person die. And what we're saying is we should matter. Okay? We feel like we don't matter. We feel like as tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, we have the right, as anyone else does in this country, our group has the right to say, our lives should matter. They should matter in the legal system enough to where people aren't getting cases dismissed for killing an unarmed toddler or teenager. It should matter. We feel like we should be able to say that. And so, because that's on the surface, but it's very deep. So I'm saying it's deep, but it's superficial.
So
why? Hold on. But when that person is saying that, what they're not saying is, but I also believe in the people that started this organization. I also stand behind the choices that are being made in the funding, options for this group to grow. I agree with you. I don't think that they know all that, but I don't think that that's what they're standing up for. I think they're standing up.
That's my argument. Y'all foot soldiers. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know.
But I don't think that there's a problem being a foot soldier. You can laugh at, but I don't think that there's a problem. Every movement needs both. You can't minimize one. You can't minimize that. You are a foot soldier for Trumpism. He needs that. That got him in the office. Foot soldiers are not a bad thing. You need more of those. You need executives.
But you gotta know what you gotta know what you're fighting for. You don't even know what you foot soldiering for. You think it's,
but that's not true. That's not true.
You think it's in good faith of everybody on the same page. Black Lives Matter. That's not what it's about. It's about Marxism, destroying the nuclear family. They using you to cause dysfunction in society, while in the back they doing some backdoor deals and you don't even know. They not out there marching with y'all. They not. But y'all saying, "Oh, it don't matter," because I'm focused on this. That's how Black people get used all the time. Yeah, Obama did some fucked up stuff, but he Black. Okay, you a foot soldier, but you losing. You losing in the end. You're not even caring about.
That's not true. That's not true. If I go off what you just said about what the slaves would say if they could see us now and just take your 2% and do right, then with that logic, as a foot soldier, I should look at, well, you know what? I have a good life. I'm able to buy a house. I'm able to send my kids to good schools. I'm able to have a good job. I pay taxes. I got a nice car. I'm able to invest. I own crypto. You know what? I'll just take my 2%. See, you can't do that. You can't pick and choose. You just told me that that's what people should do, but then you're telling me I shouldn't just. I need to know more. I need to try for more. I need to grow.
I never said that's what people should do. I'm just saying we made it work. I'm talking about during the times. I'm not never saying that we should go back to that. I'm not okay with that. What I'm saying is that during the times we made it work. I'm just giving context to the situation. I'm not saying that we should be okay with.
You did say that the slaves would get up and say, "What are y'all doing? Why can't y'all just?" You did say that. You said, "Why can't y'all just take your 2% and do your best with it?"
We ain't doing 2% now. We in business deal, but guess what? We not coming back. We in business. We at the same table, but we are not coming back.
So what I'm saying is, you go to church, right? Mm-hmm. Or you've been to church, right? You know the reason that you were in church, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Praise God.
Okay. Your purpose for walking through those doors was first and foremost a personal one, right? Yeah. Your relationship with God. You didn't go there so one of your homies had a good relationship. You didn't go there so the church numbers look good. You didn't go there because you wanted your car in the parking lot. You went there for a personal reason that you wanted your relationship with God stronger. Right? You did not care if or you didn't, let me not say you didn't care. You didn't spend time investigating how the pastor used the tithe money.
You should.
I didn't say you should. I said you didn't.
That's the problem.
Hold on.
We literally get back to the.
Hold on. You didn't. Yes or no?
Problem.
Yes or no?
I did. You didn't.
No, so you did. You went to the church and was finding out what the pastor was spending their money on.
You want my money. You want my money. You want me to go out there and march. What? Okay. So who are you funding? When I give you this money, when I'm walking in the streets marching, what are you doing? You getting funded. You don't want got all the money because you asking people to donate in order for a cause. And what are you doing with this money?
Hold on. Now don't blend worlds. You're saying you did this when you were going to church. I'm not talking politics. Don't change it to politics. In church, this is what you did.
Of course, every time I went to church, I made sure that the preacher, a lot of times they full of shit. So I stopped going to that church. Like, I'm not going to this church. The person telling me about the word and you totally not like, what are you telling me? What are you telling me? No, I can't follow you. I can't follow you. I'm sorry. I'm not going to even waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not saying that they got to be perfect, but you have to align with what I'm talking about. What we came here for. If the person teaching me about the Bible that don't even align with the Bible, how the hell am I? Why would I keep going to this church? I'm doing myself a disservice.
But you kind of saying a lot of stuff, and it's not all joining, because someone can teach you about the Bible and they can live the life of the Bible, but then they can also keep more of the money than one person should think they should keep. That those two things can be true. You can still make sure all the bills are paid. Let's just say that the church needs $100,000 a month to keep going, and y'all got $300,000 coming in, and that one particular pastor is keeping $200,000, but another pastor is saying, "Nah, I can live off 50. I'm gonna take the other 150 and spread it to the community." Neither one of them they're not doing something against what the Bible says. So you can't say you're not living like the Bible. You're throwing out a lot of stuff, but it's not.
Let's put it in the same way. So let's say the pastor, I'm donating to him, right? But then with the money,
no, you're not donating to him. Let's keep it gangster.
All right, I'm donating to the church.
You are following biblical directive, and you are loving the church, right? Because God loved the church. You are sowing into the church through God's directive. You're not giving to the pastor.
I'm sowing into this church.
Right.
The person that's the head of the church, the preacher. Now he's donating that same money I gave him to Satan, to Satanist church. That's literally what the Black Lives Matter is doing right now. What Black Lives Matter was doing the whole time. Satan himself. They are donating your money that you do not agree with.
Right.
Satan. Here. That's Satanist church.
Cool. We on the same page. I don't know about the Satan thing, but I trust you. I know you look into it. So we're gonna go with that. So, but you said exactly my point, though. My point with the Black Lives Matter situation is that when you gave your tithe, like you said, you did it through one reason. You might have later found out about something else, but you still you gave your money with this reason, or you gave your time, or you spoke about it, or you tagged it, or whatever you did in support for your reason. Now then later on, like for me, once I started finding out the Black Lives Matter group, I want to call them something else, the Black Lives Matter corporation was potentially doing these devious things, and it wasn't what they pretended to be, or they showed themselves different. I was like, oh, okay, the body, the corporation is not trustworthy. Great. I don't trust the corporation anymore. Like you, the church, I found out you're donating the money to a Satanist church. Cool. I don't trust the church anymore. It does not change you saying that if you go, you will go and tithe for the Lord. So it doesn't change
association.
But
what you don't know is still your business. What you do not know is still your business in the law.
I don't disagree with that. And so you make changes after that. But what I'm saying is, and I hope you hear me out. What I'm saying is it's a two-part thing. It's what I did and it's what they did. Actually, it's three parts. It's what I did. It's what they did with what I did. And then it's what I did knowing what they did with what I did. Right?
Yeah. But your job, your job was to research before you start marching, before you start uttering those words.
I don't disagree, but truth be told, we know that sometimes that's harder than it seems. Sometimes truth comes out a lot later. Sometimes people just don't know. Come on, how many jobs did you sign up for, and then after you start working at the job, you're like, oh, this is some BS. Sometimes you just don't know in the beginning.
But
you can't fault somebody,
kid.
Huh?
That's an immature decision.
That's no. That's not fair. That's not a fair. That's not a fair assessment, because that would now assume that from now on you will never ever have a job, apartment, car, city that you live in, a pair of clothes, shoes, a product that you buy. Like, you'll never have anything that you're discontent with, because to be discontent later, to find out more information about something later, now that you're involved with it, is immaturity. Come on. That's wild. That's wild.
What I'm saying is that when you immaturely make a decision, you look back and like, damn, like the vaccine. We can get back to we can get to that. I gotta go in like a few minutes.
Yeah, you gotta go.
It's literally like you made a decision because of your emotions. Oh, I'm gonna help grandma. 5 vaccines later, okay, so what am I doing this for now? Oh, Pfizer got billions of dollars. Oh, okay. Take more. Now you got to take one. Forget the 5 you took. Just take one. You good. I ain't took none. We ain't took none because we did the research. Okay, what is this person telling me this for? Emotional, not grandma. They came in with the grandma. You want to be with grandma, right? Save her. Emotionally. They tap into your emotions. Black Lives Matter. You didn't see them get killed.
They didn't start with that, first off, but go ahead.
to push the vaccines, they did. But
no, they started with the carrot. They went to they went to that later on. The carrot in the beginning was you can get a free coffee. You can get it was more free gifts. It wasn't about grandma just yet. But go ahead.
All right. Because they know it wasn't working. That coffee wasn't good enough. But grandma, they got you. But all I'm saying is this: that's what they do with black people too, because they know that, hey, Black Lives Matter. You just seen what happened to him. You seen what happened to him. Let's start a movement. Let's do something about it.
I agree with that. I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
Guess what? Yeah. In the back end, they like, hey, that's how. Think about this, right? Black leaders, Malcolm X, Black Panther Party, right? Martin Luther King. Yep. They got assassinated because of somebody in their cabinet. There's always someone who's pushing it to make you do something.
I don't.
But they have a hidden agenda.
Don't disagree. I don't know about always, but I do agree that most of the time there probably is. But I will end this segment with this, and then we're going one last question that's not involving politics at all. You make a great point. I don't agree with this. Like, you're immature if you haven't done the research and this and that and the other. And once you found out, it's still your business. Now you got to do. I think that's easier said than done if you don't get into the complexities of people and their life and what their life needs and what information they have in the moment. But I will try to close by asking you this: do you currently work in a union?
I don't agree with him at all.
Do you? Sorry. Do you currently work in a union?
Yeah.
Okay. After working with said union, did you find a lot of things that you didn't agree with?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
To this day, do you feel like there's probably more that you disagree with the union than you agree with?
For sure.
Okay. But to this day, do you still work for said union?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on right there. We're gonna move on. I got one question for you, bro, and I'm gonna let you get out of here. I appreciate your time and you rocking with me. Pod is good
All the time.
and all the time.
Pod is good.
All right, I want to hear your top 5 female rappers of all time. Top 5 female rappers, whatever your conditions are to be in your top 5. I'm gonna give you some time to think about it. You might need to mull it over a little bit. I went back and forth with people about their top 5s and top 10s, and I found it easier to come up with a criteria to be in that conversation. But for right now, I just want to know from knee-jerk response what you feel in your heart, being a hip-hop lover that I know you are. Top 5 female rap artists of all time. Well, who are they?
It's not very much, but what I can think of is, all right, back then Lil' Kim was a beast, man.
Okay,
Kim was a monster, especially with Biggie. She was a monster.
I come from Bed-Stuy.
Yeah. Yeah. Foxy Brown.
Fox Boog. Okay. Nasty.
Monster,
Nasty.
Yeah. Eve was nice too.
Eve, okay.
Eve. What I got? Dang.
Come on, man. The ladies listening. The ladies listening, bro. You better rattle these off. So, okay, I'm gonna give you some time to think. We got Kim. I'm just gonna put them in order from the way you said them, just because that's how they came to your mind. So I feel like that plays a part. You know, they made that much of an impression. So we got Lil' Kim, you know, Junior Mafia in the number 1 spot. We got Foxy Brown, who is crazy underrated, doesn't get talked about enough for her lyricism because Fox Bug was nasty. Inga. And then we had number 3 was Eve, Rough Rider Eve with the Paw Prince. You know, all of us fell in love with the Paw Prince. You know, turned actress, you know, all of that. So in the 4th spot, who you got?
Dang, man. I want to say was Lauryn Hill a rapper though? She was kind of
Lauryn Hill. We accept Lauryn Hill, even though she only had 1 solo album, which was combination of rap and singing, and probably more singing than rap. She left Earth so crazy in that 1 album and in her group projects with the Fugees that we always allow Lauryn Hill to be mentioned in any rapper conversation. So you got Lauryn Hill as number 4.
1.
And
1.
Oh, you put okay. I respect it.
Number 1.
So Lauryn at 1, Kim at 2,
yep.
Foxy at 3, Eve at 4. Who rounds out your top 5?
You said of all time, even right now.
Even right now. What's your list?
I think Nicki is good too, though.
Nicki.
She's good with bars.
Okay.
She's just good, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Your number 2 and number 5 spot would hate that they even on the same list with each other. But but you know, we'll let them duke it out. Hopefully they do a versus one day. There it is, y'all. Yo, bro, South Central Conservative. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking out time to talk with me. First guest on the show. Dude, great having you. Always good conversations. I love this guy. Don't get it twisted, y'all. We may disagree. We may have a difference of opinion but it is all love. You can tell from the teeth showing the whole show. We homies, all right?
Yeah, right.
Get that right. We all need better dialogue, more honest dialogue, because I do feel like a new America is coming. It may not be what it was in the 1800s, but it might have pieces of the 1800s, 1900s, 2000s until we get the perfect view. The question is, can we all get on the same page to actually realize that America? With that being said, pod is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
Pod is good.
Got you, gang. I'll holler at you, man.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.